Sharply higher today after an up and down session. The Dow up 589 points, the Nasdaq up 271, the S&P up 79.
Right now we've got cloudy skies, 27 degrees at 4 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Duke's Mayo.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland backs off from his European tariff threat over Greenland and announces that along with NATO on CNBC.
We have a concept of a deal. I think it's going to be a very good deal for the United States, also for them. And we're going to work together on something having to do with the Arctic as a whole, but also Greenland, and it has to do with the security, great security, strong security, and other things.
CBS's Linda Kenyon.
The reported breakthrough followed Trump's address at the World Economic Forum in Davos, where he reiterated the U.S. will take Greenland, but he also said it would not do so by force. In announcing the framework of a deal, Trump also said he is canceling tariffs on the U.S. allies in Europe that balked at his plans for Greenland. The tariffs were set to begin on February 1st. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
The Netherlands Prime Minister hails the de-escalation over Greenland and now says that it's important that the U.S., Canada, and Europe continue to work together within NATO to strengthen security in the Arctic region and other counter threats from Russia and China. U.S. stocks recover half of yesterday's plunge after President Trump calls off Greenland-related tariffs. The Dow closed up 589 points, the Nasdaq jumped 271, and the S&P 500 rose 79 points. A House committee has advanced resolutions to hold former President Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress in its Jeffrey Epstein investigation. CBS's Allison Keyes.
Mr. Chairman, on this vote, the ayes are 34, the nays are 8, with 2 voting present.
With that, the House Oversight Committee approves contempt of Congress charges against the former president. That means the House could end up using one of its most powerful punishments against a former president, and both Clintons could end up in jail over their refusal to respond to subpoenas compelling them to testify. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
Much of the nation will be impacted by a huge winter storm in the coming days. CBS's Jim Crisula.
Tad, Don manages a hardware store in Lexington, Kentucky.
We've got a full stock of shovels and ice melt sleds.
This man is in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Getting wood. I want to keep my house warm.
The still developing winter storm will impact at least 25 states. Widespread travel disruptions and power outages are expected. The storm will usher in record cold across the eastern half of the country all the way to Florida. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
In Los Angeles County, an officer with the Department of Homeland Security fired shots at a man who was later taken into custody. Homeland Security says the man is in this country illegally and was trying to evade arrest by weaponizing his vehicle. They say a Border Patrol officer suffered unspecified injuries. This is CBS News.
What's up, everybody? SubX.News live 4:02 p.m. January 21st, 2026. I hope everybody's doing all right. Marietta James, I'm doing great. I hope you are good. And condolences for the issue that you're going through. I hope the prayers helped a little bit yesterday. We're going to listen to the news, then I might listen to some radio calls. Today is movie day for me, so I do cut out early. Yeah, I have movie days now on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So, yeah, sorry, I'm a little greedy with my family. But, hey, you know, that's a good thing to be greedy with. Your family. 2 things you can be greedy with. Your family and God. If you got a lot of God and a lot of family, that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with... Greed is good. You know, sometimes we think that things as bad. But, you know, that's the way I am. Let's see if I got that news going back on.
Make sure you're turning your thermostat down as well so that it's not heating a home that's unoccupied.
Other tips including changing your furnace air filters, opening blinds and shades during the day, and sealing any air leaks. We do have that extreme cold watch for much of the area from late tomorrow night through Friday morning. We're going to have the AccuWeather forecast, the 5-day forecast coming up at 4:15, as we mentioned. Federal investigators looking through security footage today, looking for the thieves that attempted to rob a vehicle outside a suburban bank today.
It happened around 9:30 outside of the U.S. Bank on Southwestern Avenue in Blue Island. A city official tells WBBM the suspects were targeting an armored truck near the bank. U.S. Bank leaders say no employees were involved or injured, but that the bank would be closed for the remainder of the day. Reports suggest neighbors heard gunfire and that at least one firearm was recovered from the scene. Blue Island police are now assisting the FBI in their investigation and the search for suspects. Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
In Aurora, we're monitoring a shooting in the Aurora area. Police say they were on the scene investigating what they referred to as a criminal matter. Happened on South Broadway near a gas station. Later, an officer allegedly fired the gun, but many questions remain, including what they were shooting at and what led up to the incident. Police say there is no risk to the public. Cancer care on Chicago's South Side and South Suburbs getting a big boost from a big name.
A grant from the Ralph Lauren Corporate Foundation will establish the first cancer center bearing his name in the Midwest and the fourth in the country. The first site at Ingalls Memorial in Harvey is set to open this year and one at U Chicago Medicine's main campus next year. Program Director Dr. Nita Lee says the focus on cancers that disproportionately affect people on the South Side and South Suburbs will make sure all patients can get screening, treatment, and holistic supportive services. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
A man in the far northwest suburbs is airlifted to a hospital after a forklift injury.
Woodstock fire and rescue crews were called to Alvarez Tire and Auto Repair on Washington Street after a forklift fall caused the man to suffer a traumatic head injury. Officials say the man was not pinned nor trapped by the forklift, but the severity of his injuries prompted a medical helicopter response. He was flown to Advocate Condell Medical Center in Libertyville, a level 1 trauma center. Fire officials say the incident occurred at the auto repair shop, but it did not involve any of their employees. Glenn Marshall, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
In Chicago, police warning business owners about a series of burglaries.
The alert says there were 7 commercial burglaries over a period of 3 days last week in Lincoln Park, Lakeview, Brighton Park, Armour Square, and Rogers Park, each in the early morning, each involving a Kia likely stolen. Police say 4 to 5 individuals used sledgehammers or pry bars to get into businesses, and they stole cash, cash registers, an ATM, and merchandise. All were wearing hoodies and masks and black clothing. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
And police are investigating a shooting in broad daylight on the city's west side. It happened near Springfield and Iowa about noon today. Detectives say a 36-year-old woman was a front seat passenger in a car when a black Ford sedan approached and someone inside opened fire. She was hit multiple times in the thigh. She was taken to the hospital. Investigators say no other injuries reported at this hour. No one in custody. The publisher of the Daily Herald considering the sale of the Northwest Suburban newspaper. The Tribune reports that the company filed notice earlier this month and let its employees know, as required by a new law, to support the dwindling number of local news outlets. Founded in 1872, the longtime suburban Chicago newspaper has grown into the 3rd largest daily print publication in the state. The name of the prospective buyer not disclosed in the filing just yet, and the publication has not responded to the sale. It's 4:08. Traffic and weather together on the 8s, and here's Neil Fiorito.
You do have some trouble spots on the roadways, starting on the outbound side of the Eisenhower, where you're solid from Western to Austin Boulevard. The crash we had blocking a lane now moved off to the left shoulder, so at least you're getting by in the lanes again. 38 to Manheim, 56 to the Jane Addams, an hour to drive in from I-90, and 34 minutes in for Manheim. Crews are still with a crash on 55 in Bolingbrook southbound before Route 53. That's why you're backed up from 355, and that's why the Stevenson is really heavy getting out toward the Veterans Tollway. To get out that way, an hour 42 to drive in from 355. The other trouble spot continues to be I-80 westbound with a large pothole being repaired at Chicago Street in the right lane. Traffic is stop and go past 355. You might want to use US 30 as an alternate. Further to the east in northwest Indiana, a backup on 8094 eastbound past Torrance to Calumet, and then you have a slowdown between Klein Avenue and Grant. Along the Edens, your travel time inbound 27 to the Kennedy from Lake Cook Road. No delays outbound, 15 to Lake Cook. On the Kennedy, 42 in, 23 in off the junction. Outbound 18 to Montrose, a 38-minute ride to the airport. The express lane saved you about 3 minutes, which are looking good before the Wintrust mural near North Avenue to Addison. You start to slow from Irving over to the Edens. Looking over on the Dan Ryan, 38 out and 17 inbound. 57 a backup outbound past 167 to before Vollmer. Traffic is light on the way in. Bishop Ford about 15 either way. Delays to and from the Dan Ryan from Stony Island. On DuSable Lakeshore Drive, traffic's heavy northbound, Balboa to Jackson, Navy Pier to Chicago Avenue, and southbound traffic from Michigan to Chicago, delays in Graham Park and into Hyde Park as well. On the tollways, you have a delay on the Tri-State South from Cermak to Ogden, and one on the Veterans Tollway South between Boughton Road and I-55. From the Metro Traffic Center, next report, 418 News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Well, right now we've got seasonal temperatures, but things are changing the next couple of days. We do have an extreme cold watch for much of the area starting tomorrow night through Friday morning. 27 now at O'Hare, southwest winds gusting at 24 miles an hour. We're going to be barely hitting 0 by Friday. 27 at O'Hare, 28 Aurora, 28 Lakefront. On the market watch, stocks did a big turnaround since yesterday's sell-off. The Dow up 600, NASDAQ ahead 300. They ended sharply higher after the president backed off those new tariffs against Europe. It's 410.
Hi, I'm Jack Arnold from Arnold Electric.
What's up, everybody? So, what did you hear? Springfield and Ohio. You know where that street? Iowa, right? That's Death Row. That's the street I always call Death Row. You know where I'm talking about, right? That's the one that's behind the library, right? Where they do the drugs on the library steps. Everybody knows that area, right? I always show you guys that place. Springfield. That's Death Row, man. You don't go to that area. They had doubles, triples. They have everything over there. That's a dangerous area over there. See, daytime shooting. So here's the thing. If we have all these cops, all these resources, treatment, not trauma, right? Isn't that what these progressives talk about? That's what the progressives say. Treatment, not trauma. Well, why aren't we having people out there? Why are we allowing street dealing, street drug dealing to end up in a crime? And then the second part of that is, the perverted part, is when these drug dealers and these progressives and these liberals say, oh, it's just drugs. We're going to do harm reduction. We're going to give them a pipe. We're going to give them a needle. We're going to give them some more welfare so they can do some more drugs. And then it ends up in the shooting. And then they say, oh, we need gun control. Do you see how it's all connected? It's a sick cycle of debauchery, murder, and killing. And mostly is murder and killing of minorities and poor people. And the same thing happens in poor communities, white communities, Asian communities, Hispanic communities. This is not a black thing. It's a poor thing, right? And these liberals, and I'm starting to figure these guys out. They're not poor. They're not communists, and they're not socialists. They're rich people who want to take our stuff. Look them up. Look them up. Byron Sitchko, that guy that runs around burning the American flag and says he loves Gaza. You know he's married to a millionaire? Did you know Jesse Sharkey, the communist, is married to a billionaire? Did you know Jackson Potter, the vice president of the teachers union, his mother made $4 million from black people? 4 million smacks. Yeah, look them up. Look them up. Stacey Davis Gates, the lady from South Bend. I don't know how you're from South Bend and then you're in charge of the teachers union. I don't know how that happens, but whatever. A black woman from South Bend is making close to $500,000. Yet she's power to the people. How's that power to the people when you're making $500,000? Look, I get it. I believe in capitalism. You're making $1 billion a day. I love that. I believe in Americanism. I'm an American. I believe in Americanism. But you can't say you're a socialist, communist, progressive, and then make $500,000 while people are poor on the street. Yeah, that's some scumbag stuff there.
WBBM on your smart speaker keeps you in the know.
We're going to see what's going on in the news. Makes this some radio calls.
Trust and Will is an online statement.
And that. So we're going to be doing, like I said, a little bit of different things this year. I'm on a timeline today. I got something special today. Yeah, we're going to start doing those special things, right? And you kind of know when I say it's special what it's going to be. But we want to go start, finish. We want to, I want to try to be mindful and respectful too, a little bit. But I also want to tell the truth. The people who are running our city are the dangers to our city. They're predators. They steal. They're thieves. They're not even like the old man Daley, where he's a little crooked, but he makes sure the rats and the gangs are taken care of. And these people work with the rats and the gangs, the people that are running our city hall today.
I know my wishes are clear.
I'll tell you this story. I was just in a building down here. I had to do my personal business in the building here. credit card, one of my old credit card bills I owed a lot of money to. I just paid it off. I got 2 more credit card bills I have to pay off. I'm in debt, and I'm in debt to the IRS, by the way. I'm in debt. Since I lost my job in 2021, I've been in this super debt. But I'm starting to pay them off. You know what the lady said in there? They had an anti-ICE protest in there. I said, what? I said, does the president live here or some kind of representative? She goes, no, they're all workers. So think about this. What kind of person, power to the people, protests another worker? So we were talking, and she's a nice lady, a security guard. And she goes, yeah, we had a bunch of ICE protests in this building. I'm not going to tell you which building. I'm not going to tell you. But it was an immigration building. And she goes, I said, is there like a government guy here, or is there something here? She goes, no, it's all offices. So why would you go and protest other people that are working? Why would you disrupt their day? Why don't, and this is what we discussed, why aren't you protesting the people that make the difference and make decisions? And when we talked about it, she was a really, really intelligent young woman, right? Meaning we had a good discussion. She's just a security guard, right? And we're talking almost a half hour. And think about this, what we came to the conclusion is, why do you protest? Why do liberals protest Republicans or ICE? Why? All right, we'll go a little bit more. Are you going to change them? Do you actually think you're going to effectuate change by going to protest somebody that don't believe in the same systems that you, or to have a different ideology, right? That don't make no sense, right? Unless you're doing some kumbaya stuff like Muslim, Jews, and Catholics, where you're trying to have some kind of unity, and you're holding up signs that say people are Nazis, I don't think you're going to get them on your side there. So we discussed this. And think about this with this young woman we discussed and what she came up with. This is a lady, I don't even know her name. I can't tell you her name right now. And I just met her about 35 minutes ago, or 40 minutes ago. I don't know her name. I don't know anything. I know where she works, but I'm not going to tell you that. You know what she said when we discussed? Why don't the left and the liberals protest other Democratic liberals, politicians, and progressives? Why aren't they protesting the people that they put in power? And they're not protecting the migrants. They're not making rules against ICE. You kind of get where I'm going there. Look, if you want to change something that's going on, why would you protest the opposite side? They don't care about you. They're doing their thing. And President Trump won. I voted for President Trump. I don't like him. I didn't vote for him the first time. And if he ran a third time, wouldn't vote for him. But, you know, I voted for him because I didn't like Kamala Harris, right? But think about it. If I don't like Trump and he's doing something wrong to me, yeah, I might think of protesting him. But why wouldn't I protest the person that has the power maybe to say something, that has the platform, the soapbox? You kind of get where I'm going with this? None of this starts making sense. It's what I told you about these progressives in Chicago. And I'm going to make a list of them. I promised a lot of things. Action step, I'm going to say this in the video. Action step, I need to make a list of all the progressives in Chicago that say power to the people and power to the working class, yet they're either millionaires, billionaires, or married to millionaires and billionaires. I'm going to make you guys that list, all right? So that way we can actually see what they're talking about. Like Byron Sitchko. Everybody knows he's the alderman of Pilsen, but yet he has an apartment in South Loop. Everybody knows that, right? But he won't disclose that. He says it's none of his business. And when you start talking about him, he says you're doxing him. How do you dox a politician? You know they want to hide themselves. That's I learned that through I was on a development council that threw me off after I whistle blew the toxic camp. I'm the guy that blew the whistle on the 38th in California toxic camp. You do know that, right? SubX.News, John Kugler did that. That toxic camp that they spent $1.5 million on, that was me. I broke that story. So after I broke the story, this development council threw me off. But before they threw me off, they said, we're going to remove our addresses from the website. Yet this is a public NGO, and they want to hide who they are. Why? Because half of them aren't even from Chicago. That's why. They just moved into the city. These are all carpetbaggers. They're all people who are not power to the people. They don't come from working class, poor. They come from middle class or upper class. There's a lady, I'll tell you this story. There's a lady, and I won't tell you her name. There's a lady that works in the Chicago Teachers Union. And I helped her get that position that she has. It's funny how I helped a lot of people that are still working there. They never send me one note, thank you, John. Or, hey, how you doing, John, after I got fired in 2020. Not one. This lady, I advocated for her to get a job. She was doing organizing, the worst bottom pit job that you get the lowest pay. And I said, she should be put in charge of that. She now has a sweet 6-figure job. And she was the breadwinner in the family. Her husband is like a bum. He doesn't work. And they just had one kid, and I think they were working on a second kid. I said, that lady should get that job. She's good. She did that. She organized that. She organized that. And she would be good in this group. Whatever. And guess what? She never sent me anything after I left. Not once. Not one time. Well, whatever. That's her thing, right? God'll judge her later, right? Whatever. But this is her story. And I found this out after I left the union. Involuntarily. Her family's got a house in Lake Tahoe. Yeah, the Lake Tahoe, not the fake Lake Tahoe up in Wisconsin. The real Lake Tahoe out west. I couldn't believe it. I looked at the pictures. They're on a lake. They have a house on the lake, on Lake Tahoe. Yet she's power to the people. When I make the list of all these people, we're going to figure this all out. Why do these rich people fake being working class, fake being poor, fake being, and I'm going to say this word and don't take it derogatory, fake being ghetto, fake being slum, yet they go to Lake Tahoe in the winter with their family and have you should see the Christmas tree I think I seen in their picture. It's like 2 stories high. Like, huh? Wait, how you part of the people? That Christmas tree is a $2,000 Christmas tree. You kind of get where I'm going? Like Jesse Sharkey. You know, Jesse Sharkey's dad. Father-in-law. You know, he owns Princess Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. One of those cruise lines. Look up Jesse Sharkey, former president of the Teachers Union. His father-in-law is a billionaire with a B. Not with an M, with a B. With a B. Why does a man who's the vice president of the UN today, Jackson Powder, why is his mom making $4 million off of black people? Huh? Now those 3 people I just mentioned are white. Why is Bill Ayers, a white man who said he's the weatherman and blew up people and did domestic terrorism? A white man, right? Everybody knows who Bill Ayers is, right? He's a domestic terrorist. He killed people. He built bombs and bombed government buildings. Kind of like they're doing today. Kind of sounds familiar. Remember that in the 60s? And I was born in 68, so I don't remember it, but I read about it, right? So this guy, Bill Ayers, he was like now against anti-ICE, right? All these people spitting on people, crashing cars into ICE agents, right? Threatening people. He was the same guy, Bill Ayers, in the 1960s, right? He was part of a group called the Weathermen. These were terrorists. These were domestic terrorists. They were like Al-Qaeda. The Weathermen are like Al-Qaeda in the United States of America. They were internal domestic terrorist organization. They weren't peaceful protesters. They believed in violence, that the government needs to be destroyed. And one of the guys that ran it was Bill Ayers. His son was the DA out in San Francisco. His son released all the criminals in San Francisco. Chelsea Bourdain, look it up. Their mom just got out of prison. I think the governor commuted her sentence. Chelsea Bourdain made a deal with her before, was it Cuomo? I think he let her out. So you got to look at these progressives, right? All these progressives, right, all are like an inbred back hills people, right? They don't know nobody else. They have weird ideas. But like this Bill Ayers guy, a white man, who talks about the bad government, killed a lot of people. His dad was a billionaire. He was on ComEd. He was a ComEd CEO. And the guy who says he hates America, just like the people today. The anti-ICE people say they hate America. They hate cops. Cops are Nazis, right? You kind of get the thing. In the old days, they said pigs, right? Remember those days? You read about it. Look at some documentaries. But it's weird that these white people that say that are billionaires and millionaires. Billionaires who hates America, who's a domestic terrorist, whose dad was a CEO of ComEd, billionaire, just like Jesse Sharkey, billionaire, right? Father-in-law, now has a government pension from UIC. And one of the reasons we see a lot of the curriculum in why our more at-risk communities in Chicago and across the country are having issues with carjackings and young people being involved in crime is because of Bill Ayers and a few others. Lois Warner, Diane Ravitch. They're all these weathermen people. They're white people who are millionaires who are creating the conditions that cause crime. One, they remove vocational ed from schools. They said vocational ed is racist. When you teach a minority to work with their hands, you're being a racist because you're making them work. You need to let them go to college and learn LGBTQ. You need to teach them Gazas. You need to teach them anti-ICE. That's what you need to teach them. If you teach them plumbing or mechanics or anything like that, that's racism, right? And a plumber can make $100,000, no problem, right? A car mechanic can make 100, 200 grand, whatever I'm saying. So all these people infiltrated our school systems and our governments. And now what's the result? You just heard it. We just had somebody shot in Iowa and Springfield. We had a 17-year-old beautiful young woman, beautiful young Hispanic woman murdered. I forget her name now. Sorry, I don't know her name. My condolences to the family. She was just murdered. We just had a man murdered at Duck's Car Wash on 23rd and Western. Now I go to that car wash. That's my car wash. Just murdered at the car wash. We just had another murder yesterday in a shooting on Independence in Harrison. You start noticing this theme? You have white people, liberal white people, who say they're anti-government. They make the rules. They say they're power to the people, yet they're rich. They're insulated from the violence. And they create the conditions that poor people and minorities, especially in urban areas, are still getting harmed. And then when you look, a guy like Fritz Kagi, our assessor, who raises the taxes on all of us, he's the guy who raised the taxes. Don't listen to the lies about that guy. He's a liar. He's the assessor. And then when you go to Inglewood, you start to see a different color living there. They dump the migrants into all those abandoned buildings. They start doing what? Foreclosing on all the buildings. All the older people, they don't want to deal with the gangs and the drugs, so they move out. Younger people who have families leave the house and let the mortgage go bankrupt, whatever they do, and they don't want to be part of that violence. All of a sudden, Inglewood, Austin, North Lawndale, it's getting cleaned out. All of a sudden, when it's cleaned out, Brandon Johnson gives people $40 million to fix something. Or they give a school building that's worth maybe $100 million. like they did on a couple of these sales. Did you guys track that? You know, the school district CPS sold 3 buildings last meeting. One was for 25 grand, and they're going to do $100 million development. Well, why didn't we develop that? Why didn't the city develop the land and we make that $100 million? Why did we sell something for $25,000 that's worth now $100 million? Why didn't we make that $100 million? Do you see what I'm trying to get to here? Well, what did I mention? These people that keep saying they're power to the people, they're not really power to the people. They're ripping the people off. They're stealing from the people, right? And even though I don't like Trump and I don't like what he says, I trust him on some things. I don't trust him on everything, but I trust him on some things. Do I think he's wacky? Yeah, but I think we're going in the right direction. Let's listen to some news. Here, I'll say this. When he confiscates a boat with a bunch of oil that's got illegal stuff in it, and what does he do? He says, here, Venezuela, here's $300 million to a communist regime. Think about that. Think about what President Trump just did. He takes the boat that was doing illegal deals with China, with Iran, with whoever else, North Korea. He takes the boat, sells the oil, and cuts a check to Venezuelan communists. Does that make that man bad? Now you got to think about those anti-ICE protests. Why don't they like Trump? Why don't they like Trump? Think about it. Let's listen to the news.
Bill Clinton and his wife, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, in contempt of Congress.
Big gains for Wall Street today after an up and down trading session, but at the close, the Dow up 589 points, the Nasdaq up 271, the S&P up 79. I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg.
Cloudy, 27 degrees. The news continues now at 4:31. In less than 2 weeks, new rules taking effect for the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, otherwise known as SNAP. WBBM's Nancy Hardy tells us that it could mean up to 300,000 people in Illinois will lose government help.
Illinois Human Services Secretary Dulce Quintero explains the new requirements for people between the ages of 18 and 64.
Many will require to work or volunteer at least 80 hours per month or qualify for an exemption.
She said at a press conference about the changes, the state has already secured exemptions for about 100,000 people for mental, physical, and other reasons. Meanwhile, Kate Mayer, CEO of the Greater Chicago Food Depository, says they've been trying to alert immigrants who will lose benefits.
Legal asylees who have been in this country who now will no longer have access. The department is reaching out to these individuals.
She says they, along with Cook County leaders, pledge to help those people get connected to food assistance through charitable food pantries. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Chicago's top government watchdog says more than 1,000 city workers may have improperly received more than $26 million in overtime pay.
Inspector General Deborah Witzberg says the employees in her office's new report work across 24 city departments, in addition to the Board of Elections, the clerk, and City Council.
Those city employees are not eligible to earn overtime pay.
Witzberg also says that out of the $26 million plus in overtime payments her office reviewed between 2020 and 2024, nearly a quarter of them went to 18 workers who each received as much as $700,000 in potentially improper payments.
We can ill afford mistakes that run into the 8 figures.
Mayor Johnson says it's critical that the city change those practices.
The Department of Finance is aware of this issue and is already taking corrective action.
We're at City Hall. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
The Chicago Coalition to End Homelessness is finding a wide disparity between its count of the population and the city's official count.
The coalition says in 2024, there were more than 58,000 people who experienced homelessness, 3 times what the city found in that year's one-night point-in-time count. That count was just under 19,000, and it follows federal guidelines that include counting those in shelters and encampments. The coalition says the city did not account for those who may be staying in others' homes or in other situations. It says the hidden homeless, or those who are considered doubled up, are more common than those on the streets or in shelters. The report says Black and Latino Chicagoans are disproportionately impacted, reflecting racial inequities in housing and equal opportunity. There were also more migrants who were homeless in 2024, adding to the numbers. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
A number of Chicago chefs and eateries are up for some major awards this summer.
The James Beard Foundation has announced the nation's semi-finalists for its annual awards, often referred to as the Academy Awards for the culinary scene. 23 different restaurants, bars, and chefs from Chicago have made the cut. Among them, El Ideas and Kasama, both of which are in the running for Outstanding Restaurant. Hop Leaf Bar is up for a Cocktail Service Award, while chefs at Mitokaya Antoheria, Galit, Rosemary, and Best Intentions are semi-finalists for honors. The finalists will be announced in March, winners in June. Andy Dane, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
4:34 on Capitol Hill. Harsh words exchanged at a House committee meeting over holding former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress. It's over their refusal to appear before the panel in its probe of Jeffrey Epstein.
House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer says the Clintons were legally required to appear for depositions before the committee, and they refused.
The subpoenas required depositions.
But Democratic Pennsylvania Representative Summer Lee pointed to Comer's agreement to depose Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, though she is expected to plead the fifth.
You are actually not applying the same standard here across the board.
Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
And President Trump announcing a major step toward a deal that involves Greenland.
There's some tough statements at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, where President Trump reiterated he wants the U.S. to have Greenland. He posted on social media, quote, "We have formed the framework of a future deal," unquote. The president made the statement after a meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, saying, quote, "This solution, if consummated, will be a great one for the United States of America and all NATO nations," unquote. In response to this framework, the president said he would not be imposing the tariffs that he had scheduled to go into effect February 1st. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
And the Supreme Court hearing arguments today on whether the president can fire Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook.
Trump tried to oust Cook over alleged mortgage fraud. Cook's attorney, Paul Clement, says that would set a dangerous precedent.
There is simply no reason to abandon over 100 years of central bank independence on an emergency application on a preliminary record.
U.S. Solicitor General John Sauer.
The American people should not have their interest rates determined by someone who was, at best, grossly negligent in obtaining favorable interest rates for herself.
Most of the justices seemed reluctant to allow Trump to fire Cook. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Fall in love with Mozart's cozy.
Did you just hear that? $700,000 each of corruption? They were paid overtime. They were all salaried employees, but they got overtime. And guess what? What did the leech say? BJ the leech. The leech. He didn't say I'm the fireman, prosecute him, which you should. If you're stealing from the city, you should be fired and prosecuted. What did Leach say? What did Mr. Leach say? Oh, we corrected it. What? The leech. Get how he's a leech? He's a leech. He works for them. He doesn't work for blacks. He doesn't work for Mexicans. He doesn't work for the poor. He doesn't work for the working class. He doesn't work for the migrants. He works for the ruling class. He said, oh, yeah, we corrected it. If I'm the mayor, I'd say, oh, they're terminated and we're going to prosecute them and we're going to get all the money back. We're going to confiscate all their land, all their houses, all their cars. That's what you say. What did the leech say? The leech said what? Oh, we corrected it. We corrected it. That's what a leech says, right? You got why he's a leech? And why he's the enemy of all of us? He's the enemy of everybody. He's the biggest enemy to black people. Go look on the west side, south side, east side. Go look at where black people live. Go look who's getting the money. Go look who lives underneath bridges. Go figure that out. Why? Because he's a leech. He's not a leader. He's not a progressive. He's not, none of that. He's a leech. He's always has been. I don't know why he's a leech. His dad's supposed to have been a preacher. I don't know why Brandon Johnson's a leech. I haven't figured that guy out yet. Why he's the way he is. Why is he that corrupted, right? Why is his brain twisted, right? Why?
111th Street. You have a crash involved.
It's strange, and you just heard it. This is besides, there was another investigation of corruption in Chicago. It just came out last week. I got pulled that one out. It's not CPS's one, it's this one. It's related to this, but it's different. It's the city workers who owe. It's the city workers who owe the city money on bills, taxes, and all of that stuff. You know, that's a termination event. I used to be a business agent for Chicago Public Schools. You know what a business is? I was the union rep. It's a termination event. If you don't pay the bills to the city, you are terminated. No one was terminated. Brandon Johnson didn't terminate him. Why? Because he wants to what? Be elected. So what is he telling all these people? Don't worry, I won't fire you. Just make sure that you elect me. So that person who made the $700,000, that criminal who stole our money, he's not going to get fired, or she's not going to get fired. And he's going to say, you know what? Now you owe me. I didn't fire you. You make sure all your staff in your department votes for me. That's what he's doing. You know how I know this? Because that's what they did at the teachers union. They allow corruption, and then they take the few people and they tell them, we're not going to fire you. We're going to get elected. And guess what happens when they get reelected in the second or the third term? You get fired then. That's how that works. Yeah, I know how these guys operate.
Park southbound. From the Metro Traffic Center, next report, 448. News Radio 1059, WBBM. WBBM AccuWeather. We'll have a bit.
Two things. Mostly I was the negative guy. If you got punished, I was the guy and I filed grievances for you, right? Either one. If they violated your rights, that was me. If you got arrested for stuff, that was me. I helped you get representation. Yeah, I had people who were accused of murder. Some of my cases were some of the people who were accused of doing bad things to kids. I was like a rep. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm a business agent. But I also understood those things. I wasn't investigating. Like that lady who was talking, the Inspector General, I used to be in that office all the time.
Well, the Bears season may be over, but fans still showed up to the Wiener Circle in Lincoln Park last night for the Joint's Caleb Williams Lookalike Contest.
The Lookalike Contest was the latest event in a series of Bears-related promotions at the Wiener Circle. Fans donned their finest Caleb Williams gear, including Bears crew necks and pearl necklaces, accessorized with painted nails and, of course, matcha. Aaron Williams was among the contestants. He tells CBS News Chicago he's often compared to Caleb Williams.
I don't know. I was watching the game. I said, man, I asked my girl, like, he kind of looked like me, don't he? And then I went to the gym, someone said it to me.
The coveted Caleb Williams wannabe trophy went to Trenton Harrison of Bourbonnais. He says he plans to send the quarterback a DM and maybe even set up a meet and greet.
If me and Caleb meet up and take some pictures or something, that'll be cool. I'm the real Caleb Williams.
In addition to the trophy, Harrison also took home a Wiener Circle gift card and merch, along with a matcha latte. Carolina Garibe, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
Well, the winter blast expected to hit a large part of the country. Here, too, some areas have already gotten over 2 feet of snow, and parts of the south are under winter storm watches for snow and ice starting Friday. We're in for some cold. CBS News San Francisco meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Starting tomorrow, we're actually going to start seeing some of these heavier storms appear, but right now it's mostly just rain making its way across northern Louisiana and across the Mississippi over into the state of Mississippi. Here's what's happening for us, though, as we advance the clock all the way into Friday. Friday morning, we start with more rain continuing to track over into Atlanta. We advance the clock all the way into Friday evening. That's when storms become a lot more apparent anywhere from Kansas all the way down into northern Texas.
We're updating Chicago's frigid forecast around the clock, so make sure you stay tuned here for all the latest information. Well, a city is righting a wrong 6 decades later.
78-year-old Hezekiah Watkins teared up as he received a formal public apology from the city of Jackson, Mississippi. Watkins was wrongfully arrested at a bus station in Jackson in 1961 at the age of 13. He was the youngest of the Freedom Riders.
It's been a long time coming, and it has. I mean, not just for myself, but for all of us who risk our lives for individuals to have the type of life they have today.
Watkins was sent to a Mississippi state prison and held on death row for 5 days before he was released. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
In Chicago, you have to plan for winter weather.
Yeah, last week there was a report from, I don't know if it's the same Inspector General. I'll look it up. I usually report, it always comes out in January, these Inspector General reports. Last year's report had Jason Lee in it, the Texas guy. He's chief of staff for the Brandon Johnson, who's not a resident of Chicago. He's a resident of Texas. He voted in Texas. So he committed voter fraud and violated the municipal code of residency, meaning you have to be a resident of Chicago to work for Chicago, to be an employee. And Inspector General last year said you must fire Jason Lee. Brandon Johnson never did that. This year, they did two things. This one, where they're making illegal overtime. And secondly, they said there's a bunch of people that haven't paid their bills. I'm trying to get through here. See, they got the Uber guys always parking everywhere, man. That's bad. I'm trying to get to our surprise here. That's what I'm trying to get to. But think about the corruption. So what? What did they say? $25 million. $25 million. Didn't they just take out a loan for $25 million? Didn't they just raise our taxes? Or wasn't there a proposal for $25 million extra? I thought something, I just read about it. On the action item, check John Kugler for the figure $25 million. With this corruption that just broke. Oh man, they got something that just happened over here. And now that we have this corruption uncovered for $25 million, I remember there was something they were trying to raise taxes by $25 million. I forget what it was. I don't remember it right now.
They help train and
so it's starting to be, look, Brandon Johnson isn't new. He's ending his third year now. He's in his fourth year now. Think about it. This corruption that you're hearing is under him. It's not under Daley. It isn't under Lightfoot. It isn't under Rahm. The corruption you're listening to is Brandon Johnson's corruption. $25 million they stole in overtime. Who were those people? Do you want to bet that some of those people were doing political activity? How much you want to bet on that one? You want to bet that some of those people, for $25 million, these $700,000 ones that were illegally doing overtime payments, I bet you there were some of the political operatives that are helping with the elections. I bet you they're anti-ICE. They're holding up signs. I'm trying to get to my surprise for you guys here, but I don't know if I'm going to. We'll see. I'm trying to get there. Where am I going here? Come on, my brother. Why are you going slow now, man? Whatever. Think about it. Brandon Johnson, that corruption is his corruption. It's no one else's corruption. It's his corruption. And he's going to try to spin it as, oh, that's blah, 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 or that's blah, blah, blah. Man, where am I? Did I mess up? Damn it, I messed up. Where am I supposed to be now? Oh. I get discombobulated around here, right? Trying to do a surprise for everybody. Oh, there it is. You know what I'm trying to do, but I missed it. I missed it today. Sorry, guys. I failed you. I failed you guys. I should have not taken that way. That's a bad way to get here. I failed you guys. I gotta watch I don't get into an accident. I'm kind of driving a little bit hocus pocus, ain't I? You know where I'm going, right? I hope. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm gonna close my eyes and cross my fingers, but you know, I should keep my eyes open. Oh man, yeah, we missed it. Oh well. You know why he was coming up here. Come on, my brother. Yeah, learn how to drive a car, my brother. Yeah, keep driving. You're okay, man. You're fine, my brother, man. Don't be looking all weird and shit, dude. You just pay attention to the road. That's all you have to do. Concentrate on driving. Oh, man. There we try to get to the sunset. We seen the sun a little earlier. I should have just went to my other spot, but I wanted to. Oh, there's the sun. It's way over there, man. Alright, this concrete wall is blocking me here, man. Maybe I go up here. How about that? They got this fence over here, man. It's blocking my thing, man. That ain't cool. How about we do one of these here? How about that? The sunset's right there by that dome, right? Isn't it? Today. I should do some meditation music and take some deep breaths, man, so I don't get all jacked up, right? The sun is right behind that dome there. You see it there? So we'll sit here and do a little sunset, right? I think, did I make it or not? I think I did. I think I made it. The sun is right behind there. Oh, look at those geese flying there. Look, you're going to see a bunch of geese flying. Watch this. Watch. Watch by that dome there. Watch. It's pretty cool. There they come. See those geese right there? Pretty cool, right? Let's see, did I make it? I think the sunset today is 51. $4.52. Woo! We made it! Yay! Happy Hump Day. We're gonna take a little picture out here. I should take a selfie, right? Nah, I don't like selfies. I don't know. I like selfies with friends, but not. There we go, sunset. Woohoo, we made it, everybody. We're gonna try to get back into our sunset routines. The sunset's right behind that dome, right? I don't even know what that dome is. Oh, that's Wrigley. I used to work for those guys. William Wrigley Jr. Company, Mars.
Events due to a major downtown construction project.
The annual Street Fest isn't happening this summer for Palentine. Instead, the village says it will host 2 large food truck Sundays, with one happening in June and the other in August. The village says it's planning to enhance sidewalks and a full reconstruction on Slade Street and Railroad Avenue, which forced them to cancel this year's Street Fest. Glenn Marshall, News Radio 105.9, WBBM.
Former NFL reporter running for the U.S. Senate.
Ex-NFL sideline reporter Michelle Tafoya has launched her campaign for U.S. Republican senator from Minnesota. In a video posted on social media, Tafoya says that her career walking the sidelines when the pressure was mounting and the stakes were highest taught her about how leadership really works. In the video, she alludes to the immigration crackdown in her state, making clear that she stands with federal law enforcement. Tafoya also takes shots at Democratic Governor Tim Walz for the fraud cases that have dogged his administration. She's been quickly endorsed by U.S. Republican Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina. I'm Donna Ward.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in tax debt? Do not ignore this message. The IRS has more power than any collection agency in America, often without...
There we go. Beautiful sunset. Oh, are they tonight? Oh, and it's going to be clear, it looks like, right? All right, so maybe I'll see those. I used to do all of that stuff. I don't know. I'm on a weird schedule. I didn't get out of bed today, which kind of put me behind a little bit today. I need to get back to a regular schedule. So, thanks for everybody letting me get to the sunset today. Yeah, we got it. I should put on some. Yeah, but you know what? I actually can do. Why don't we do? Should we do a little meditation and then we'll go back out at 5? How about I do a little meditation music? I shut my mouth. All right, let's see this. I think I can do a little meditation music, right? Let's see. I think I got it on this phone that's connected, right? We'll do a little meditation music, chill out. We'll do the 5 o'clock news. I'll get out of here, and then we'll see what's going on up here, right? Let's see. I think I got to do copyright free. Oh. The last time I did. See, if I do music, they might cut the whole live feed off. So if the live feed gets cut off, I'll start again. Copyright free meditation music, right? Because when I did I got Indian, like Native American music, and I did that, they cut my videos off. Royalty free meditation music mix. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to try this one. Let's see how this works, okay? Relax and enjoy the sunset for a few minutes.
These are the principles we use.
That's what we're going to do, and then we'll listen to the news again, all right? Let's see how this works. Now back to reality. Let's get to the news. Let's hear how Brandon Johnson's corrupt. $25 million in corruption. Listen up to the news. If you haven't heard it, there's two stories. One, that they stole $25 million in overtime. Brandon Johnson's cronies and leeches. The leech, right? And secondly, there's a bunch of people who didn't pay their city fees. That's why he wanted to make a law that says city workers don't have to pay their fines. You guys remember that one he proposed over the summer? Yeah. Listen up. He's as corrupt as you think he is. There you go. Listen up. 5 o'clock.
Have yet been revealed. CBS's Ed O'Keefe is in Davos.
There may just be a discussion about updating that long-standing agreement that would allow the United States to expand its military presence at Greenland's invitation whenever and however it needs to. And in essence, they'll talk it out, make some changes, and it will probably lead to a larger U.S. military deployment.
NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte says that much work remains on Greenland. President Trump says Russia's Vladimir Putin has accepted an invitation to join his Board of Peace. House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer.
Today was a big day for accountability.
And the Republican congressman from Kentucky says former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton ignored subpoenas to appear before the committee in its investigation of late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. And
I'm very happy that we had a bipartisan vote today to hold the Clintons in contempt of Congress.
The Clintons argue the subpoenas are invalid and have offered the committee written declarations about their interactions with Epstein.
The Department of Homeland Security has named its latest operation Catch of the Day, an apparent play on Maine's seafood industry. The state has one of the highest percentages of Somali residents in the country. Various state officials are saying they don't want this federal presence, and Maine's Secretary of State has turned down a request for new undercover license plates for Customs and Border Protection vehicles.
After hearing arguments, the Supreme Court seems inclined to keep Lisa Cook on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors despite President Trump's attempt to remove her. Her attorney, Paul Clement, argues that allowing Cook's firing would set a bad precedent.
No president, from Woodrow Wilson to Joseph Biden, has ever even tried to remove a governor for cause, despite the ever-present temptation for lower rates and easier money.
Cook denies Trump's allegations that she listed 2 separate properties as her primary residence. In New York City, cold weather has not prevented nurses from walking the picket line for a second week, demanding better pay and workplace conditions. The union says there's been one bargaining session with each of the city's 3 hospital systems with little progress. The Dow closed up today, 588 points. This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News.
This is where the city stuff is coming up, so listen up. They might have the corruption about the leech. Right, the leech.
5:03. It is Wednesday, the 21st day of January, halfway through the work week. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Lisa Fielding. Right now we have 27 degrees. That'll just feel very warm, though, come the weekend. Looking at below zero highs come Friday. We're going to tell you about the extreme cold watch coming up at AccuWeather when AccuWeather joins us at 5:15. But first, our top story, people who use hemp-based products. Some hemp-based products in the city might have to find another place to buy them. It's under a new proposal approved today in City Council. However, the mayor says he has serious concerns about the plan and has not decided whether to sign it just yet. Our top story from WBBM political editor Jeff Buckles.
Midway area Alderman Marty Quinn says he made a number of changes to his proposal requiring licensed cannabis dispensaries to sell edibles and other products that use hemp.
The compromise before us today allows for hemp beverages, allows for hemp additives. We've included a carve-out for the hemp topical industry. We also have a carve-out for hemp products intended for animals.
But Northside Alderwoman Maria Haddon raised concerns about the measure's impact on small businesses.
I'm afraid this version of the ordinance is going to harm them right now, while trying to do some good.
And even aldermen who opposed the measure praised Quinn's work on crafting a compromise. We're outside City Council chambers. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.9, WBBM.
Well, we were talking about the cold, and it is upon us this weekend. And brutally cold temperatures are in the forecast. Experts are sharing some tips on how to keep your energy bill down this weekend.
Ahead of the cold snap, Kara Schweer with ComEd says there are some things you can do to lower energy costs. Sealing air leaks, she says, can save up to 15% on heating and cooling costs. Weather strip windows and doors and seal any cracks in walls or ceilings. Keep air vents clear of obstructions. Change furnace air filters. Dirty filters make systems work harder.
When the sun is shining, we recommend opening shades on south-facing windows, and that allows you to take advantage of natural light for warmth. But just remember to close the shades during the night to help insulate your home.
The most obvious thing you can do is turn down the thermostat. Keep it comfortable, Schwer says. Just lower, especially when you're sleeping or away. You may also want to open cabinet doors under sinks if they're on outside walls. That can keep pipes from freezing. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Now to the latest on that police shooting in Aurora we've been monitoring today. Earlier today, dispatchers got a call from a person with a weapon. It happened in the 300 block of South Broadway near a gas station. Police found someone with a knife. This is when the police officer shot at him and he was hit. They immediately tried to help him until paramedics arrived on the scene. Authorities said the involved officers were taken to a nearby hospital for evaluation, but it is still under investigation. Andersonville kicking off the new year with a new wellness open house event this
The
weekend.
inaugural Explore and Restore open house is part of Andersonville's annual Swedish-inspired Sag Hey health and wellness celebration at the start of the year.
Saghej means say hey. The idea being that even just saying hey to your neighbor on the street does so much for your mental health and even just your physical health. So we've always sort of used January as an opportunity to promote our health and wellness vendors, our service vendors, anything that can really go into creating a healthier, more comfortable lifestyle, especially starting in the new year.
Charlie Wine with the Andersonville Chamber of Commerce says participating businesses include Chicago Hot Yoga, Cheetah Gym, and Fortuna Wealth Management. He says he hopes people learn more about ways to take care of their health, but are also able to explore what's known as the shop local capital of Chicago.
Andersonville is the place where we really do love that people come and they say they feel included. We really just want people to come in and explore and get a sense of how, welcome they are in Andersonville.
Carolina Garibay, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Leaders in a southwest suburb have approved plans that will pave the way for a new high school football facility.
The vote didn't come without opposition or a few fireworks.
Will you quit interrupting me?
Yes.
And listen to what I have to say, and then I will listen to you politely like I have all night.
Joliet City Council gave the green light this week to the construction of a new football stadium for Joliet Catholic Academy. This is Director of Institutional Advancement, Ryan Quigley.
We have a lot more than just a football stadium. It is a multi-purpose stadium, soccer, football, the potential for lacrosse again. It's been a club on campus for several years. Soccer, track and field, tennis, our PE classes, all of our students that will utilize this great facility.
The school has also promised to address parking and noise concerns when the necessary funds are raised and work begins.
We want to invest in Joliet. We want to invest in our community. We want to invest in our students. We want to invest in our alumni and all who care about our school.
Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
5:08. Time for traffic and weather together on the 8s. How are the roads, Neil?
And they didn't talk about the corruption. It'll be at the 5:30 thing. We're going to go see what's going on here. But it's a nice sunset tonight, ain't it?
It's about 10 this morning. Traffic remains loaded up past US 30 again to the scene at Chicago Street. Hopefully wrapping up at 8 p.m. We will keep you posted on that. For right now, avoid that delay by using US 30. No delays on the eastbound side of I-80. You're good there. In northwest Indiana, you have backups into it eastbound in spots from Torrance Avenue over to Burr. Expressways, the Eden's coming in 30 minutes. A heavy delay before Tower to Skokie Boulevard and Peterson to the junction. Up on just a slight delay off the Kennedy to Foster Avenue. Travel time on the Kennedy, 22 out to Montrose. You save 5 in the express lanes. 42 to the airport, you're 45 to drive in. Eisenhower out, 43 3 to Manheim and hour 4 to the Jane Addams. About the same coming in from I-90 or 35 in from Manheim. I-55 to Stevenson getting out to the Midway exit. That's Cicero Avenue, 33 minutes. 46 to the Tri-State, hour 5 to the Veterans Tollway, 36 to drive in. Southside, the Dan Ryan getting from downtown out to the Split, 37. 20 minutes inbound, 57 going out 18. 18 on the outbound Ford as well. You saw the Lakeshore Drive traffic northbound from Belleville to Chicago Avenue. You're on the break south from Michigan to Chicago through Grant Park and into Hyde Park. On the tollways, standout delays on the Tri-State. Southbound at 111th. Crash cleanup there on the right shoulder, and you're backed up from the Mile Long Bridge. From the Metro Traffic Center, next report 518, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
All right, Neil, thank you. A bit of evening snow tonight, a low of 14, a high tomorrow of 25, but tomorrow night is when the extreme cold watch goes into effect. 27 degrees now at 510.
Imagine an entire bathroom suite centered around the most important.
There you go. That's the top of the hour news. Usually the mid-hour news at the 30s is more related to local. So you see, we didn't hear the stuff about the corruption. Maybe we'll put on some radio calls, see what's going on. Go run around here, see what's up here, in this area, the neck of the woods. We're gonna wait till after. Well, I might just throw on the radio calls now. I don't want to keep talking. I've been talking too much. Sometimes I don't like listening to myself talk. I just want to do stuff because I just ramble on sometimes. Right? But think about what I talked about earlier, right? That's an important point. And now think about the corruption that just happened, right? They're connected. Those are two connected things. Remember what I talked about earlier about the progressives? Now think about what you just heard about the corruption of the leech, right? He's a leech. That man's a leech. It's not derogatory, it's a fact, right? He leeches off the city, right? That's it. And you can see that when he has $25 million in overtime corruption, $25 million or so dollars in non-paid dues, those are our deficits. That's why the city is broke, because he's allowing the corruption to happen, right? That's what we're experiencing, right? He's like a Barbara Bird Bennett, a disposable person, right? They call him blackface, right? Everybody knows that, right? I don't need to explain you that concept, right? And that's some radio calls.
Hollywood southbound, it says there's a large garbage bag in the middle of the street, possibly going to cause an accident. Streets and fans has been notified.
15, I'll go remove the bag.
All right, thank you.
3, 2, 1, 6, I'll ride with him.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
33 Frank.
83 Frank.
79th Street, westbound from 610, bus 1313.
09031, 09031. 7397. 7397.
Yeah, I'll call it so. 397, you calling me?
Yeah, it's 132 there yet?
They just got our guy. Thank you for talking to CJ.
Okay, perfect. 86 Eddie.
How is lower, please?
090E1, 090E1.
86 Adam.
86 Adam.
And number 4 Jackson Red Line.
09091, 09091.
83 Charlie.
83 Charlie.
One event number for 79 in the red, please.
09095, 09095.
4734.
4734, good evening.
Good afternoon, 10 to the west. Adam.
83 Adam.
We have numbers for the rail line, station 92.
09105. 09105. David?
Yes, can I get an ETA check, Washington, Wabash, Brown,
09115. 09115.
David.
84 David.
Yeah, can you show us how I did the train northbound from 55th? Card number 5612.
09129. 09129.
37 Adam.
87 Adam.
Get to a bend, Missouri, Cumberland, blue line.
09144. 09144.
7386.
73.
73. Howard.
09148. 09148.
3864.
86 boy.
How many meters ETA at Clark and Lake?
09157. 09157.
7387 Midday. If we would get a even number for blue line at Jefferson Park, please.
Alright, who's at the blue line Jefferson Park? All I heard was David.
7387 David.
Alright, it is going to be 09169. 09169.
That's reporting units at 9 C West, burglary in progress, 4558 South Lasley. Caller saw person break into the garage, unknown gender, race, black jacket, back pants, must have issued 9
83 Frank.
83 Frank.
393 bus eastbound from Wolcott, bus 1258.
09242. 09242.
7383 Adam.
83 Adam.
VIN number 95th rail line.
09250. 09250.
10-4, thank you.
You're welcome.
4, clear about west-west. Heading southbound on the Hudson bus 1309.
David, unit coming in?
738 David. Can I get a event number for train by from this road to blue line?
09269. 09269.
7397 David.
97 David.
Can you tell me who did our transport and at what time?
It was beat 132, and they were on scene at 1608. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. So it's beat 132. They headed into one at 1601.
10-4.
number then, Blue Line.
09354. 09354.
7633 Adam.
Adam unit.
Sorry, 7386 Adam.
86 Adam, go ahead.
There's a number for Jackson Red Line.
09373. 09373.
7386. 7386 Eddie.
83 Eddie.
CTA Tech, Howard in the red line. Awesome.
Alright, Howard Red, that's going to get you 09386, 09386. And if you need an upper, it's going to be 09388, 09388.
7383 Charlie.
86.
That number for 79 and the red.
10-4, that's going to get you 09389, 09389.
7386 Eddie.
86 out of here.
It's close. Can you put that CTA to get on the block?
You're at Howard, right?
Of course.
Alright, you should see them both now.
7386 David.
86 David.
Can I get an event number for lower platform check at Chicago Red Line?
09437. 09437.
7383 David and Eddie.
83 David and Eddie.
How can I get two event numbers? One for the Rosendale red and one for the Rosendale green.
Alright, the red 09444, 09444. Green is going to be 09446, 09446.
7383 Adam and Boy.
83 Adam and Boy.
Can I get event number for 95th Red Line?
09450, 09450. Alright, we're getting an assault in progress over at the Blue Line Grand in Milwaukee, 502 North Milwaukee. Angela is the caller. Says there's a male standing on the platform that threatened to attack her. He's a male black wearing a white hat, black jacket, blue jeans, white gym shoes.
What was that description again for Blue Line Grand?
It's going to be a male black wearing a white hat, black jacket, blue jeans, white gym shoes.
Yeah, there's a subject matching that description. He's on the platform right now.
Okay, 10-4.
386 Adam.
7386 Adam.
What is it? Is a number for Jackson Red Line.
Look at that number 09558. 09558.
7331 Sam.
Oh, and Sam.
Blue Line Grand. He just got on the train towards O'Hare.
Okay, I'll let 12 know. I think 1214 just pulled up.
Thank you.
Intersect City West, 329, 8341, South Patrick Girl, that was you. Female inside storage building, get called, and put out that's regular on me. Intersect City West, 329, 8341, South Patrick Girl, that was
General, email Sergeant Storage Facility, get called, and put out 9 regulars on me.
4721.
4721.
You can clear me with a positive. Good night.
Alright, Timber, good night. Units 19.
3 Frank.
83 Frank.
29th Street, bus westbound from Lafayette, bus 7970.
09594. 09594.
Charlie 1 to City West.
Charlie 1.
Let you know we're up and available.
Okay, Timber.
7386 boy.
86 boy.
Lower at Park and Lake.
09602. 09602.
7388 David.
88 David.
So can I get a van number for a train ride Clinton to Dame Greenland?
09609. 09609.
Let's get a van number for a platform at Clinton.
Great, that is going to be 09613. 09613.
7383 Charlie.
83 Charlie.
79 at the red line, please.
09631. 09631.
7386 Eddie.
86 Eddie.
Okay, our red line slower, please.
09675. 09675. Alright, we're getting an assault in progress. Blue line at Damon, 1588 North Damon. Says that on train number 3368, there's an irate passenger. Hold on. I don't know. It gives a train number, but then it says the passenger is on the bus yelling threats. Offender, male black, wearing a black coat, carrying multiple bags. The passenger that's calling this in says he's hit the emergency button multiple times, but the train has not stopped.
2301 sample.
7301 Sam.
Sounds like the same guy we had at Grand at Blue Line. We don't have any train stops at Damon.
Alright, where things go.
7387 Adam.
87 Adam.
Can you get two event numbers on front of Blue Line?
09702, 09702, and 09703. 09703.
683 Adam.
7383 Adam?
386 Adam, correction. Can I get an event number for Jackson Red Line?
86 Adam, sure. It's going to be 09727. 09727.
7383 Adam, boy.
83 Adam and boy.
Yeah, can I give event number for 95th Red Line?
09749. 09749. And for you, since 11 and City Block, getting a lot of reports there in Washington and Pulaski, Washington, Pulaski, 7 to 10, a lot of reports.
8386 David.
86 David.
Event number for upper platform, Chicago Red Line.
09795.
83 Frank.
83 Frank.
39th Street, bus ride eastbound from Ashland, bus 8462.
09807. 09807.
4.
Wait 'em up. Try it or your money back.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station, News Radio 105.9 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
5:30. Good evening. I'm Lisa Fielding. Here are the top stories on News Radio WBBM. More than $26 million in questionable overtime was paid to Chicago city workers in recent years. That's according to the city's top watchdog. A new report from the Chicago Coalition to End Homelessness shows a wide disparity between theirs and the city's official count of its homeless population. We'll take a closer look.
This is Andy Dane. Investigations are underway after a shooting involving an Aurora police officer.
Plus, President Trump backs off his tariff threats against Europe, saying the framework of a deal is in place about Greenland in business.
Big gains for Wall Street today after an up and down trading session, but at the close, the Dow up 589 points, the Nasdaq up 271, the S&P up 79. I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg.
Partly cloudy, 27 degrees. The news continues now at 5:31. Hundreds of workers for the city of Chicago may have improperly collected more than $26 million in overtime pay. WBBM political editor Jeff Buchholz reports on a new report from the city's official government watchdog.
There's some pretty staggering amounts here.
Inspector General Deborah Witzberg says more than 1,000 workers who collected that pay between 2020 and 2024 may not have been eligible because it wasn't negotiated in their union contracts or they're in certain executive or managerial jobs.
The city has known about this problem for many years, and it has gone unaddressed.
Mayor Johnson says the city is taking steps to address the situation in response to the new report.
It's critical that we eliminate any of the redundancies or any repayment errors to ensure that every single tax dollar is accounted for.
We're at City Hall. Jeff Buchholz, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Meantime, Mayor Brandon Johnson says he has serious concerns with a proposed restriction on the sale of so-called Delta 8 and other intoxicating hemp products, but has not said whether he'll veto the plan. Alderman gave final approval to the measure that would restrict sales of many hemp-based products to licensed cannabis dispensaries and would ban their sale to people under 21. The mayor told reporters that he intends to keep talking to aldermen about the plan.
The ultimate goal, of course, is to make sure that we are regulating a product that doesn't harm our children. But at the same time, we don't want to exclude small businesses from participating.
If he signs it, the sales restrictions would take effect April 1st. The Chicago Coalition to End Homelessness is finding a wide disparity between the city's official count and its count of the actual population.
That's not a surprise because the coalition says the official count does not include those who are staying with others or are in situations where they're less visible. The coalition's count for 2024 was about 58,000. The city's one-night count was about 19,000. The coalition says blacks and Latinos are disproportionately impacted, adding to the 2024 population migrants. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
There was a police-involved shooting in Aurora today.
Aurora police say officers responded to reports of a person with a weapon in the 300 block of South Broadway just after 12:30. When they arrived, investigators say they found a male suspect barricaded and armed with a knife. Officers opened fire at the man, who police say sustained at least one gunshot wound. He received medical care from officers and Aurora fire officials. His condition is unknown. The officers involved were taken to a hospital for evaluation. The Fox Valley Major Crimes Task Force is now investigating, and Aurora Police asking anyone with information about the incident to contact them. Andy Dane, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Now to Davos, where President Trump is announcing a major step toward a deal involving Greenland.
The president posted on social media, saying after meeting with the Secretary General of NATO, quote, "We have formed the framework of a future deal with respect to Greenland, and in fact the entire Arctic region," unquote. The reported breakthrough followed Trump's address at the World Economic Forum in Davos, where he reiterated the U.S. will take Greenland, but he also said it would not do so by force. In announcing the framework of a deal, Trump also said he is canceling tariffs on the U.S. allies in Europe that balked at his plans for Greenland. The tariffs were set to begin on February 1st. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
Major snow and ice storm expected to hit parts of the country unaccustomed to such weather.
Winter storm watches are posted from New Mexico east to Tennessee and Alabama. A massive snow and ice storm is expected to develop this weekend across the south and southeast. Hannah Ferris manages a grocery store in Greensboro, North Carolina.
I mean, I've already seen people panic buy already, like water and firewood in particular.
Weather forecasters say up to 2 feet of snow could fall across the southern Appalachian Mountains. Widespread travel and power disruptions are expected. Jim Crisula, CBS News, Greensboro, North Carolina.
And a 4-year-old California girl is getting death threats over her NFL playoff predictions.
Reese Donatelli's father puts opposing teams' mini helmets in front of her, and she chooses which team will win. When Reese went 0 for 6 with her NFL wildcard weekend picks, some of her followers got nasty.
We're going to break the curse of this cursed young girl tonight.
Even rapper Cardi B called Reese's picks cursed. Some people sent the family death threats, saying her bad picks cost them thousands of dollars. Still, her father says he will continue to post Reese's predictions.
You're a really good quarterback.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Consider it done with ABC. Our family's been available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for more than 65 years. ABC Plumbing, Sewer, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Book your appointment today at 4abc.com and consider it done.
Finally, how about a simple New Year's resolution? One where you're guaranteed to succeed. Well, reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful. Witness your own natural hair growing into those places where it's been balding or thinning for years. It's Bo Duran, and from Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their world-class medical team, they're the only team in hair restoration I personally recommend. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. And your new hair is guaranteed to grow. I mentioned the results can last a lifetime. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair.
I hope you guys enjoy that. Like I said, we doing things differently, right? And the days are getting longer, right? Yesterday was 50, today was 52. The sunset.
Resolution could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Now, lowest gas prices from News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Sponsored by PackyWeb4.com. PackyWeb Ford will beat any competitor's deal on any new F-150, Ranger, Maverick, Super Duty, or Transit. For details, visit PackyWeb4.com. In Aurora, the Mobile on Sullivan and Orchard has gas for $2.59 a gallon. In DeKalb, the Mobile on Route 38 in Peace has gas for $2.85. Coming up.
This is Nancy Hardy, local government.
5:38, time for traffic, and here's Neil.
You know, they're changing, right? Food stamp. First of all, they're saying no illegal can get food stamps, which, here, I'm going to tell you this. Everybody knows I'm an immigrant, right? I came when I was 2 years old. I don't remember. My parents brought me here, right? But I know my wife.
38 out, 22 in. On 57, a delay outbound from the Ryan and past Tolstead and I-80 to Vollmer. 18 on the way out and delays on the outbound Ford in spots from Midday and Ryan to 115. 17 to drive out to 8094. We saw the Lakeshore Drive traffic northbound Monroe to Chicago Avenue. Brake light south Michigan to Chicago through Grant Park and into Hyde Park. From the Metro Traffic Center, your next report's at 5:48. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
WBBM AccuWeather will have a bit of snow moving through as we head through the evening hours for tonight. Already starting to see a little bit of snow in some far western suburbs. We could have a fresh coating to an inch of snow and some slippery spots before we clear things out later tonight. It will be windy and colder, low 14. AccuWeather real field temperatures will fall below 0. Windy and cold tomorrow with some sunshine, high 25. Real fields will be in the single digits, and then it gets brutally cold tomorrow night and Friday with a bit of a breeze. We'll have some clouds, low 12 below 0 tomorrow night, high 3 below on Friday. Real field temps 25 to 35 below. 27 at O'Hare right now, 28 at Midway, 25 at Lincoln Park, 28 at the Lakefront, going down to 14 tonight. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson.
5:40. As many as 300,000 people in Illinois could lose SNAP benefits after new rules kick in next month. As WBBM's Nancy Hardy tells us, local leaders are doing something to combat the changes.
The federal government shirks its responsibilities. Counties like ours are left to pick up the pieces.
Cook County Board President Tony Brockwinkle says food is not a luxury, and without reliable access to nutrition, people's health suffers. She joined other county leaders and the CEO of the Greater Chicago Food Depository to sound the alarm about new work requirements starting February 1st.
We're going to be there for you, but there are so many people who still don't understand, who are not aware that these changes are coming.
Katie Mayer says they're trying to spread the word that people between the ages of 18 and 64 without young kids will need to work or volunteer 80 hours a month to receive SNAP benefits. The state says it has already helped 100,000 people get exemptions. Mayor is also worried green card holders who are still eligible may be afraid to go out and get help because of immigration enforcement. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Man fighting for his life in a freak accident after a forklift accident.
Woodstock Fire and Rescue said they were called to the Alvarez Tires and Auto Repair Shop on Washington Street after a man fell from a forklift and received a traumatic head injury. He was not pinned nor trapped under the forklift, but his injuries were severe enough he was med-flighted to the Level 1 Trauma Center at Advocate Condell Medical Center in Libertyville. Woodstock Fire and Rescue said while they did respond to Alvarez Tires and Auto Repair, the incident did not involve anyone from that business. Glenn Marshall, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
The House Oversight Committee has new plans to continue its investigation into the late convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. The spotlight will now be on Ghislaine Maxwell, his co-conspirator, on February 9th when she sits for a deposition hearing before the committee. Maxwell is currently serving a 20-year sentence after her December 2021 sex trafficking conviction. She recently petitioned the federal court for her release, maintaining that new information has emerged that warrants her release. At the editor's desk today, Patrick Greshman and later Terry Kishner and Mallory Warbroker. Our writers, Cecilia Fergakis, assistant producers Eric Boleyn and Tamia Wilson, traffic producer Anton Peters, and our broadcast managing editor, Zach Weber. It's 5:42.
The 2026 election.
There you go. There's the news. You guys heard the corruption. There was another story on corruption with Chicago last week that they weren't paying their fees. And that was another $20 or $30 million. So we got close to $50 million in corruption under Brandon Johnson. $50 million. And what did he say? Again, you heard him again say it, and this was a longer clip you heard at 5:30 today. At 4:30, he didn't say that. He said, oh, we're taking corrective action. That isn't corrective action. That's termination. It's termination and criminal. That's what you do. There is no corrective measures. When you steal from the government, you don't get a chance. I told you, I was a business agent. I represented these cases. There is no corrective action when you steal. There is none. You get terminated. Why? Because you knew you weren't supposed to get it. That's the point. And you're actively stealing against the government. So when Brandon Johnson says, oh, we're taking corrective action, the only corrective action is termination. There is no corrective action. It's termination. It's like why he didn't fire Jason Lee, who was stealing. He's an illegal employee, right? He's a Texas resident. Oh, man, I can't go this way. Damn. I thought we could go this way. All right, I guess not. All right, we're going to keep going that way then. Maybe I can go this way. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I can go this way. Or maybe I'll squeeze that way, right? Yeah, all right, we'll squeeze this way. So you kind of get what I'm trying to say here? And look, if you're a progressive, and today's broadcast, this is for my notes when I transcribe this tonight. Tonight's broadcast, tomorrow's article is going to be the fake progressives, right? And then we're going to talk about that. Why? If you're a progressive, you're against corruption. That's meaning everybody understands the progressive movement is to go forward. It's civil rights, anti-corruption, anti-cronyism, anti-waste. Now, the problem with progressivism, if it aligns with socialism, it can and it can't. You can say we need to spend this money like for COVID so no one goes hungry. Those kinds of things, right? Social programs, right? So there is more programming, but you want to stop the corruption, right? So when you add the programming, you want to have checks and balances in there. There you go. There you go. So, and that's what's, well, now what are we hearing? This guy's been in office 3 years. He's now going on his 4th year. So Brandon Johnson's been in office 4 years, or 3 years. He's going on his 4th year, and now he's got $25 million scandal? Really? Here, whatever happened to John Carlos? What happened to that kid who died in the 23rd Street shelter? What happened to him? Where is he? He's dead, right? What happened to his family? Imagine what Ben Crump would do if a black child, died at the hands of a white government. Imagine that. Think about that. Think about how corrupt, how evil the leech is. Think about how evil the leech is. That a young immigrant boy died while he was in office. This happened well, I'm pretty sure it happened with Brandon Johnson. They covered it up. They covered up the date. They covered up how he died. He died of 4 or 5 infectious diseases. The mom said, my kid's sick, and they said, you got to go to a hospital, and they send her away. So imagine that a kid dies of 4 infectious diseases at a city shelter. Imagine if a black child died at a white city shelter. What billions of dollars would be paid out? Think about the evilness of that leech. And you know why he's evil? Because he discriminates. He discriminates against civil rights. He discriminates against human rights. That child was killed by the negligence of shelter workers. You know, I requested the FOIA documents of all that stuff. You know, to this day, I have got nothing. Kwame Raoul, the Illinois Attorney General, refuses to enforce the FOIA laws. I got FOIAs going back from the first day that Brandon Johnson was in office. 3 years now. Kwame Raoul refuses to enforce the rights of citizens and news agencies to get information from the leech. Right? He refuses to enforce the law against the leech. Why? Because the leech is with his brother, the leech. And other leeches like Fritz Kagi, right? Fritz Kagi is a leech, right? Where's Mendoza? Where's Susan Mendoza? Where's the leech Susan Mendoza? Where is she? Why don't we see her on TV? She wants to be the mayor, right? Isn't it funny? You don't hear from her? She shuts her mouth. She wants to be the mayor, don't she? You hear her talking about any of these issues? Any? Zero? Why? Because she's part of it. She's in it. She's inside of it. She is it. She's that. She's what they call in substance abuse words an enabler, right? That's Susan Mendoza. You don't hear her making a statement. There's a federal Department of Labor investigation of Chicago teachers union. Has any politician made any public statements? Any? Came out and says, this is serious. They need to cooperate. They're not, instead they say it's political, it's ICE, it's whatever, it's Gaza, it's LGBTQ, whatever excuse they make. They make excuses, right? It's an excuse game, right? It's LGBTQ, it's Gaza, it's ICE, it's Greenland, right? They make these excuses. It's a game with them, right? While they're stealing our money. Remember, we in Chicago, there are no Republicans here. When they say Republicans and MAGA, that's goofballness. It's goofballish. It's them. It's them who are stealing, right? It's the people who are in power that are stealing our money. They say it's somebody else when it's them that are stealing. That's what I wanted to say. And today's reports on the news are clear about that, right? It's Brandon Johnson who's stealing, right? It isn't Trump. It's not Trump. It's Brandon Johnson. He's stealing, right? He's a thief. He's a leech, right? And I don't know what else to say. All right, let's listen to some radio calls. See what's going on out there, right? Where are we at? Right there? There we go. Let's listen to what's going on, and I'll shut my mouth.
92029.
That's 4, we'll
got cameras on while we wait for the P car to get there, so.
Alright, 6408 to Henry. 802 Sam is saying that that black Toyota Corolla was last seen headed eastbound on Archer.
That's work.
Auto theft, right? Let's go back a little bit.
6408 Adam Kane.
811 Houston 8 Citywide, getting a person with a gun. Archer and Austin, Austin and Archer. The driver of a black Toyota Camry, license plate Eddie Adam 92029. Last seen at southbound on Archer, pointing a gun at the caller. Nothing further. Zone safe.
7388 Adam and Boyd.
88 Adam and Boyd.
Yes, Mark, you show us on foot at the plastic blue line for the until sorry, till 1800.
Alright, it's going to be 09983. 09983.
6408 Henry.
6408 Henry.
Put that Archer on. Person with the gun on the box.
Yeah. Supposed to be a black Toyota Camry license plate Eddie Adam 92029.
That's what we'll got cameras on while we wait for the P car to get there, so.
Alright, 6408 to Henry. 802 Sam is saying that that black Toyota Corolla was last seen headed eastbound on Archer.
That's what. 6408 Adam, can you toss that in the box as well?
6408 Adam, yes, of course. Hey, Charlie 1.
Go for Charlie 1.
I know I sent PH over to 48th and Kennedy. Do you want to start heading over to 111th and Racine? I guess ISP was chasing somebody over there, and he fled from this vehicle on foot. They're looking for him.
Yeah, 10-4, we'll start heading that way.
Alright, it's going to actually be 111th and Aberdeen.
10-4. 7386 Davis.
86 David.
Yeah, no, that number for a lower platform check, Chicago red line.
10027. 10027. Hey, Charlie 1. Charlie 1 on Citywide 1.
Charlie 1, go ahead.
Alright, I heard it burns with really no help to you. Switch over to Zone 9. We got 20 seconds to strict officers over there with ISP.
Will do, thank you much.
No problem. Okay, we're getting an auto theft that's occurred over at Sheridan and Pratt. Chris says that two male blacks with ski masks got into his black Volkswagen. Chris, the car is now pinging at Devon and Glenwood. License plate's going to be Boy, Adam, Robert, Ocean, Tom, 1.
That's right
I
here.
don't know if he left his car or what happened.
Okay, it's a 5 in Citywide, battery in progress, 1900 South Michigan, 11900 South Michigan, at S&B Food and Liquors. Caller said a male and a female. There are a couple fighting inside of the store. No weapons, nothing further, zone 9 district clear.
7386 Eddie.
7386 Eddie?
7386 Eddie. Can you get HX lower on Howard and the red line?
Sorry. My phone is jumpy like that.
Okay, it's a 5 in Citywide, battery in progress, 1900 South Michigan, 11900 South Michigan.
7386 Davis.
86 David.
Yeah, no, that number for a lower platform check, Chicago red line.
10027, 10027. Hey, Charlie 1. Charlie 1 on Citywide 1.
Charlie 1, go ahead.
Alright, I heard it burns with really no help to you. Switch over to Zone 9. We got 22nd District officers over there with ISP.
Will do, thank you much.
No problem. Okay, we're getting an auto theft just occurred over at Sheridan and Pratt. Chris says that 2 male blacks with ski masks got into his black Volkswagen. Got the cars now hanging and Devon and Glenwood. License plate's going to be Boy, Adam, Robert, Ocean, Tom, 1. And that's it. I don't know if he left his car or what happened.
Okay, units in 5 in Citywide, battery in progress, 1900 South Michigan, 11900 South Michigan. At SMB Food and Liquors, caller said a male and a female. There are a couple fighting inside of the store. No weapons, nothing further. Zone 9 District 5, please.
Okay, we're getting an auto theft just occurred over at Sheridan and Pratt. Got the cars now hanging and Devon and Glenwood. Says that 2 male blacks with ski masks got into his black Volkswagen. Auto theft just occurred over at Sheridan and Pratt. Chris says that 2 male...
Auto theft, Sheridan and Pratt. 2 black males with ski masks took his car. So it's continuing, right? The thefts, the criminality, the robberies. It's not stopping, right? We're in Lincoln Park now, by the way, if you don't know. That's Oz Park, right? We're on the north side of Chicago, by the way, if you're wondering where we're at. I haven't got my new phone yet. I have to get a new phone. This phone I got is so jumpy, it's unbelievable.
735.
4735.
Wait, K9, good evening.
Good evening.
I can't even get back to him. I wish I could show you guys what's happening when my phone is just jumping all over between different apps. My Google Docs app just opened up and I didn't touch it. I don't know why my Google Apps app would open. It's strange. It's wild. I didn't touch the button. I don't want it open. I'm not thinking about opening it. Oh wow, everything just disconnected. My Bluetooth even disconnected without me touching the button. Strange.
Strong security and other things.
NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte tells Fox News that he had not discussed the key issue of Danish sovereignty over Greenland in his meeting with President Trump. CBS's Linda Kenyon also reports
The reported breakthrough followed Trump's address at the World Economic Forum in Davos, where he reiterated the U.S. will take Greenland, but he also said it would not do so by force. In announcing the framework of a deal, Trump also said he is canceling tariffs on the U.S. allies in Europe that balked at his plans for Greenland. The tariffs were set to begin on February 1st. A Republican-led House committee has voted to recommend that the full chamber hold former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress for refusing a subpoena in its Jeffrey Epstein probe. CBS's Allison Keyes.
Committee Chair James Comer says
the ayes have it,
and the committee adopts the report,
recommending that the House of Representatives find William J. Clinton in contempt of Congress.
Such charges have historically been used only as a last resort, and Comer initiated the proceedings after the Clintons refused a subpoena to appear for months. The Clintons say they didn't know about Epstein's abuse and offered written declarations about their interactions with him.
A major winter storm is expected to start impacting portions of the country on Friday. CBS News meteorologist Nikki Nolan.
We have a significant winter storm event that is shaping up in the southern U.S. and it's going to make its way across the eastern U.S. and impact parts of the mid-Atlantic and the northeast come the start of next week. We have a lot of Arctic cold air that'll be moving in starting on Thursday, and it will really just sink in and stick around through the upcoming weekend and into the start of next week.
The Supreme Court has heard oral arguments over President Trump's efforts to oust Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. The president announced his intention to fire Cook in late August over allegations that she committed mortgage fraud, the first time that a president has tried to remove a sitting Fed governor. Cook has denied those allegations. CBS's Jan Crawford was in court.
I think it was very clear that all the justices, liberal and conservative, very skeptical of the president's broad arguments. I didn't see any takers.
This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours.
We're over here at the Marshall Field Gardens. I don't see too much activity. Oh man, there's a robot there, right? And there's cops back here. Look at this. There's police back here. But I hear that the drug activity and prostitution's in front. So you wonder why do they have the cops stationed in the back here, right? See that here? So I'm getting reports that there's crime in front of this place, but yet the cop is in the back. See that there? See? So this is Marshall Field Gardens Apartments. That's to the left of us, right? The cop is sitting back here, and naturally, what do you think they're doing in their car? They're on their cell phone, right? But I'm hearing there's crime in front of this place, so why aren't you in front of this place, like, doing crime fighting, right?
At ZipRecruiter.com.
Strange, right?
Radio. ZipRecruiter.com/.
We'll go around the front again.
Tuna in cans that can leak and be tainted by bacteria has made it to the marketplace.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration says canned tuna under the Genova Yellowfin tuna brand that was recalled nearly a year ago has been accidentally shipped to 6 different grocery store chains in 9 states. They include Meijer stores in Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Ohio, and Wisconsin, Giant Foods in Maryland and Virginia, and Safeway, Albertsons, Vons, and Pavilion stores in California. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Ford is recalling roughly 119,000 vehicles due to a possible fire risk. Certain Ford Focus, Explorer, Escape, and MKC vehicles are being recalled because they have a defective engine block heater. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administrator says they may crack and even develop coolant leaks, causing them to short circuit. Then the block heaters are when the block heaters are plugged in. Interim letters will go out in February 13th. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
So here, so you see the cop is in back of this place, but the crime happens in front of this place. We're going to see up here what they're doing up here.
It is 6:05, Wednesday, the 21st day of January. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Lisa Fielding. We have some light snow in Aurora. We have cloudy skies at O'Hare.
Yeah, I don't see nobody out there. They might be in the cars or something. I don't know.
Things are about to change drastically.
I don't see nobody standing out here on Sedgwick. I don't see anyone. I'm looking in the cars. Yeah, I don't see nobody in the cars either, so. Black Hawk and Sedgwick. Maybe they're hiding or something, I don't know. But I don't see nobody out here. None. There's no one out here. There you go. I'm right in front of the building, right there. You see that there? There's no one out here. Maybe they're hiding.
His proposal to limit sales of Delta 8 and similar products, including exemptions for beverages, creams, and products for pets.
I think we found a path forward that ensures our kids are protected and safe.
It bans sales to people under 21 and restricts sales to licensed cannabis dispensaries. Northside Alderwoman Maria Haddon voted no.
It hurts me to see us cutting off an avenue for healing, for health, but also for kind of small businesses.
Mayor Johnson has not said whether he'll sign it.
This ordinance that passed today, I have some serious concerns about.
He says he'll keep talking to aldermen. We're at City Hall. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 1059, WBBM.
Police are investigating after an attempted heist outside a southwest suburban bank today.
A Blue Island official tells WBBM the target of the attempted robbery, which happened around 9:30, was an armored truck outside of the U.S. Bank branch along Southwestern Avenue. There were no reports of injuries. However, neighbors claim to have heard gunfire during the incident, which did prompt the bank to close for the rest of the day. The FBI has now taken over the investigation. Blue Island police are assisting. No arrests have been made. Andy Dane, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
Well, brutally cold temperatures on the way, and there are a few things people can do to lower their energy bills this winter.
ComEd is offering a few tips. The first, an obvious one, don't crank up the heat, especially while you're sleeping or away from home. Kara Schwer with the utility says keep the thermostat as low as comfortably possible.
The other thing, too, is that sealing air leaks can save you up to 15% on your heating and cooling costs. So in most homes, the impact of air leaks on your energy use is similar to leaving a window open. And as you know, with this temperature and what we're supposed to see coming through, we want to make sure that the home is comfortable but also saving energy. So I'd recommend weather stripping your windows and doors and sealing cracks in your walls with caulk or foam.
Other advice, change furnace air filters. Dirty filters make the system work harder. You want to prevent pipes from freezing too. Open cabinet doors under sinks, especially if they're on outside walls. Mike Krauser, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
We're going to talk about the weather in just a moment. It is 6:08. Traffic first, though. Here's Abby Ryan.
Right now, Lisa, the Eden's on the inbound side, a 25-minute ride. It is heavy past Tower to Skokie, Peterson to the Junction, 17 on the outbound side. Slows from the Kennedy Junction to Foster. Kennedy outbound, heavy from the Jane Byrne interchange to Ohio. Junction to Harlem. It's a 16-minute ride to Montrose, 34 out to the airport. Just save 2 minutes in the express lane, so that's 32. Inbound 42, heavy from Cumberland past the Wintrust mural at North Avenue to Ohio. 42 O'Hare in 20, coming in from the Edens Junction. Eisenhower outbound, heavy Racine to First. 27 to Manheim, 45 to I-90. Inbound 50, I-90 back in. 32 coming in from Manheim. Stevenson on the outbound side, heavy from the Ryan to Cicero. 83 to Lamont. A 24-minute ride to Cicero, 33 to 294, 45 to 355. Inbound heavy spot Central to Kedzie, 32 355 in. Inbound on I-55 Will County southbound, that is slow, or heavy rather, from 355 past 53. Outbound Dan Ryan, 30 minutes. Inbound 18. I-57 outbound, a 17-minute ride, slow from the Ryan past Halstead, and then I-80 to Vollmer. Bishop Ford outbound, jammed 115th to before 130th, crash in a lane at 20. DuSable Lakeshore Drive northbound, heavy Randolph to Chicago, southbound heavy Michigan to Chicago. Tri-State southbound slows from the 82nd Street Toll Plaza to 95th. Rest of the tolls are doing well. I-80 westbound stop and go US 30 to Chicago. Emergency road work right lane. Pothole repair scheduled until 8 o'clock tonight. Use the US 30 to get around. 8094 west slows from Klein to Kennedy Avenue. Next report from the Metro Traffic Center, 618. News Radio 1059 WBBM.
For tonight, look for a low around 14. Tomorrow, a high of 25. Really cold tomorrow night with a low of 12 above. And barely cracking 0 on Friday. Right now, 27 degrees at 610.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers?
eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy place every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
It is 6:11. The news continues, sponsored by BC Bank. A big name is bringing cancer care to Chicago's South Side and South Suburbs.
A grant from the Ralph Lauren Corporate Foundation will establish the first cancer center bearing his name in the Midwest and the fourth in the country. The first site at Engels Memorial in Harvey is set to open this year and one at U Chicago Medicine's main campus next year. Program Director Dr. Nita Lee says the focus on cancers that disproportionately affect people on the South Side and South Suburbs will make sure all patients can get screening, treatment, and holistic supportive services. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
A northwest suburb canceling one of its summer events due to downtown construction.
The annual Street Fest isn't happening this summer for Palantine. Instead, the village says it will host 2 large food truck Sundays, with one happening in June and the other in August. The village says it's planning to enhance sidewalks and a full reconstruction on Slade Street and Railroad Avenue, which forced them to cancel this year's Street Fest. Glenn Marshall, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Semifinalists for the so-called Oscars of the food world include several Chicago restaurants. The James Beard Foundation has named 23 local eateries, chefs, and bars for this year's coveted awards. Naidu and Nick and Juniors are in the running for Best New Restaurant in the Outstanding Restaurant category. We have El Ideas and Casaman are semifinalists. The 2026 winners of the James Beard Awards will be announced in June. And, you know, the severe cold is moving into the Chicago area tomorrow night. And so Metro says it will be operating with reduced schedules across all lines on Friday. The number of trains will be similar to the level of service on weekends. Metro also says travel time will increase on Friday due to speed reductions on account of the extreme cold. How cold will it get? We're going to check in with the AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up next.
Stay on top of the news. Sign up for WBBM's daily newsletter.
So they're reducing speeds because of the cold? That's strange, isn't it? That's weird. I never heard of that one. That's weird.
10749 and 10762.
Something's going on. They just called a 10-1. I got to get on the radio. See, something just happened. And let me just get on the radio here. Something just happened. All right, let's go back a few minutes here. Something just happened. Let's listen up.
7386
We're back in this traffic jam here, right? Remember we were in this traffic jam last week when the shooting happened? 10405. That rainstorm, remember that? I don't know why my radio disconnected. I have no idea why my phone disconnected from my radio. I didn't touch that button.
Let's ride number 1214 from Lindale. Going.
Said no phone is connected, yet it was.
10437, 10437. 4734. 4734. Please get a homeland number for 1110 North on Spring. 10457, 10457. 7383 Charlie. 7383 Charlie. for all the assistance with that stop. We're going to go into 6 and knock out an ISR. But before we do, can I get one more event number for 79 and the red, please?
All right, that is going to be 10487, 10487, and then I have you going in for an ISR on that other job.
397 Charlie.
97 Charlie.
See the sheriff right there? What's he doing over here on Goose Island?
10527, 10527.
Direct through George.
83 George.
8266. Westbound from Pulaski on Roosevelt.
Cook County Sheriff patrolling.
10535, 10535.
$4735.
4735.
Wait, K9, good evening.
Good evening.
Cook County Sheriff patrolling Goose Island tonight, 6:16 p.m., January 21st, 2026.
6414 John.
6414 John.
Hey, good evening, Spot. Can you show us juvenile arrestee back to Area 1 from Stroger? Last 3 miles is going to be 852.
810-105.
7383 boy.
7383 boy.
Driving event number for 96 Bloodline.
It's 10598.
7387 David.
7387 David.
Jefferson Park, Blue Line event number, please.
Check event number 10607.
Sorry, 387 Adam.
7387 Adam.
Can I get to event number?
See, they always go to 1. This is a 2-lane road here. It's not a 1's lane, it's a 2-lane road.
Check event number 10612.
It's a 2-lane road. There's 2. You can go 2 people on this bridge. See that there?
Probably want citywide.
Charlie 1.
Yeah, we're heading back to base. We'll be landing.
Now you got ambulances that can't get through. See that?
Okay.
That's the problem with this traffic. See that there?
736. 7 for Roosevelt, the rest.
We're stuck in the middle of traffic here on Division Street because Chicago Avenue shut down. And these trucks and everything can't get through. Those are emergency vehicles. There's only one road in and on and off this Goose Island now. It's really dangerous. This is a two-road lane bridge.
Anderson 16 is like getting a burglary in progress. 5143 West Wilson. Ray said they had a break-in. It happened again. The lock gets broke. She thinks she hears voice in the basement. By the hallway, she's with her boyfriend on the second floor. They're on 116 clear.
David.
733 David.
Goose Island. Emergency vehicles only have one way and on and off this area, and it's really dangerous because it's all jacked up with the traffic.
Where's your lunch on your radio?
6:18 p.m., January 21st, 2026.
714517. Enjoy your lunch. Absolutely. Save 10849. 10849.
Remember, we were talking about that before. See, that's bad city planning. It's bad city planning when that's that. So if you got a bad emergency on that island, I don't know, you might die. You might die because the ambulances are going to be jacked up, right? So getting on, you see everybody moved away, but getting off, I mean, you kind of get what I'm saying? These things, people that are running our city need to take care of, right? And we were talking about that last time when we were on there. That was in that rainstorm. Remember that? That was the shooting. We didn't get to the shooting over on Damon. 300 South Damon. Remember that? Shooting in that apartment building. Got my head on to my place. I'm gonna do my movie night, right? Where we at, right? I got an idea how I'm gonna do this.
6414 John.
6414 John.
Well, we landed in area 1. 859 on the ground.
1824 o'clock.
George.
83 George.
Well, 8266. Westbound from Pulaski on Roosevelt.
10535. 10535.
4735.
4735.
Wait, K9, good evening.
Good evening.
6414 John.
6414 John.
Hey, good evening, Spot. Can you show us this juvenile arrestee back to area 1 from Stroger? Last 300 miles is going to be 852.
1801
7383 boy.
7383 boy.
Driving event number for 95th Bloodline.
It's 10598.
7387
7387 David.
Jefferson Park, Blue Line, event number, please.
Take event number 10607.
7387 Adam.
Look at all the businesses closed over here on North Avenue. Look at that.
Can I get to event
They're all
number?
closed. They can't rent these places out. You see that there? There's at least 3 storefronts closed. Right here on my
Alright, take event number 10612. And 1.
Look at all the businesses closed over here on North Avenue. Look at that.
Can I get to event
They're all
number?
closed. Seen that, right? All those stores were closed. So you see it as you're going, and here's some more over here, right? You got all this traffic. Why is the traffic here when the businesses are closed? It's strange, right? So traffic doesn't correlate to business, right? This is a heavily gentrified area here. Division Street. Sorry, I said North Avenue. Let me show you this. I'm gonna go back. We're gonna do this one more time, right? Those were restaurants there. Those were big that was a corporate restaurant there that was closed. I'll show this to you. This is Division Street, right? This used to be a famous street. Used to be a cool street. A lot of cool stuff happening here. It's heavily gentrified, by the way. Super gentrified here. This is a little north of Ukrainian village. This is, you can consider this Wicker Park here, right? Let me show you this. Where was that? 2 blocks down or 3 blocks down? I'll show it to you. I'll move the camera so you can see those businesses. They're all shut down. These are $1 million homes, by the way. They're all $1 million. We're on Thomas and, I don't know, Wolcott. Look it up. Thomas Wolcott. Redfin. They're all, that might be a $2-3 million home right in front of you there. It's all gentrified here, man. Most of these people aren't even from Chicago. Look at that house there.
87.
Why don't you look that one up? 1844. Look it up. Look up 1844 West Thomas. We'll do it right now. 1844 West Thomas. Redfin, 1844 West Thomas.
You want to know a fire matter removal? Hold on a second.
You want to see how much that house was back there? And we're going to show you the empty businesses. Again, these rich people, these gentrifiers and transplants don't correlate to businesses. There's a $2 million house in back of us and they have abandoned businesses here. What they do is they suck out the wealth. They suck the wealth out of the people who used to live here. The blacks, the Mexicans, and the Puerto Ricans. It's mostly white people now here, right? White gentrifiers. Again, we're in Wicker Park. Here, you want me to show you this? You want to see that price? We just passed that house. $2.2 million. 20 years ago, there was Mexicans, blacks, and Puerto Ricans here. There is none here no more. They kicked them all out. That's hyper gentrification. That's beyond gentrification. Now we're going to show you businesses that are closed. All right, there's another one there. Why don't you check out how much that? There's another one right over here. It might be $3-4 million. Just showed you that. We just passed that house. All right. Now we're going to show you some businesses that are closed here. Right. That these prices don't correlate or don't. It's a word I'm looking for. I think it's a T word. Don't translate to what? To what? To money, right? It's all fake money. This is called corporatization. These people that live here are the corporatizers. These are the people that work for schemers, scammers, rip-offs, bubbles, .coms, AIs, all that crap. Banks, loans, swaps, derivatives, all of that, these people here. So it's all fake money. That's all these people are here, right? There's no real wealth here. They extract wealth. That's what they do here. That's why you come here, and I'll show you this, right? I'll show you wealth extraction, right? SubX.News, wealth extraction, 6:30 p.m., January 21st, 2026. So we're on Division Street. We're just going past Henry and Wolcott here. I want to show you this. There's a $2 million home on the back on Thomas, right? But if you look here, the $1 million homes don't translate to business. You see that business is closed there. See Yolk? That's a corporate area, right? Look, it's got a rule for lease sign. It's shut down. See that? These people here, they rip people off. These people push blacks, Mexicans, and Puerto Ricans out. They'd steal the land. And then there's empty businesses. Empty. See that there? It's all empty here. That's at 6:30. The cleaners is closed 6:30. The cleaners usually is open at this night. You drop your cleaners off, right? There's another one empty. See that there? How many businesses are empty? Right down the street on Thomas, we showed you a $2.2 million home, a single home. But you see these businesses are closed here. You see that there? There's another whole corner closed. Look at that. For lease. You see that there? These are corporatizers. They steal. They extract wealth from minorities, from the poor, from the middle class. The people that live here steal from the middle class. These are the people who vote for Brandon Johnson. Right there. You see that there? It's all empty around here. See that? To see the stores are closed and you see the lights are off? If you figure some place that has a $2 million home, you would figure it'd be always open, it'd be bustling, but it's not. Why? Because these are thieves. They steal. They're like leeches. They're the leech, and they have a leech mayor. That's why he's elected. The mayor is elected by the people who live here. You got that? You see that other store, that corner store? Imagine a corner store closed in an area where there's $2 million homes. It's kind of strange, isn't it? Isn't that strange right there? Look, that store is closed right there. You see that there? It's closed. See that there? It's closed. See that? Look at all the dark lights around there. It's strange, isn't it? Why is... If you got $2 million homes, there's another one closed right there. See that there? There's another one closed, right? All these stores should be open if you got $2 million homes. Again, it's 6:30 p.m. It's not night. If these people have that much money, they'd be out walking, they'd be eating, they'd be going to bars, they'd have entertainment, whatever you think. But they're not those people. These are leeches, right? They leech on something, they extract the wealth, and then they leave. They'll go to another city, they'll go to another town, they'll go to San Antonio, they'll do whatever, right? They don't care about this area. They don't care about the people who live here. They don't even care about Chicago. They'll get on to some kick and say, there's the Rainbow Club. That's a long club that's been there for a long time. There's a bunch of businesses that used to go here. When I lived in this area, all these businesses, if you see any storefronts here, they were all open 100%. They're not anymore. All this whole corner here, when I lived in this area, I lived north of here. All these were filled with businesses. Right? Don't you see that? These were all businesses. They were all storefronts. I'm only talking 20 years ago. I'm not talking 100 years ago, Grandpa and the Mayflower stuff here, man. I'm talking about recent history. I even think this Greek restaurant just shut down. Let's check this out, right? This store, it's open. It's always closed. That corner store there, that's been already 4 or 5 businesses in the last 20 years. They cannot stay open. Again, these people don't create wealth. They extract wealth. That's the problem here. The people that live in this area extract wealth from our city. They don't create wealth. They don't even generate liquidity. They extract it. That's what their profession is, right? AI is good, but it's bad because the people who run AI, they want to extract the wealth out of people who think it's the new car, but it isn't a new car, right? There you go, right? That's an old Greek joint here. There you go, SubX.News. That was Wicker Park over there. That's the time.
Hospitalized for evaluations, with investigations now being handled by the Fox Valley Major Crimes Task Force. Aurora PD encouraging anyone with information to come forward. Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Around the world, President Trump arrived in
wealth extraction in Wicker Park.
Deliver a highly anticipated
as you see, there's $2 million homes here on Thomas, yet they can't keep simple restaurants and storefronts open. So what does that tell you? These are not wealth creators, they're wealth extractors.
Deal with NATO instead.
I'll be discussing it with this man right here.
6:30 p.m.
Trump posted on social media
January
that the US
21st,
and
2026.
NATO had reached a framework of a deal and added, this solution, if consummated, will be a great one for the United States of America and all NATO nations.
As part of that negotiation, President Trump says he will no longer impose tariffs against European countries over their objections to his efforts to acquire Greenland. An internal ICE directive has authorized officers to enter homes without judicial warrants. Here's CBS's Cammie McCormick.
A memo from last May disclosed by whistleblowers gave ICE officers permission to use narrower administrative warrants rather than a judge's warrant to enter residences by force. This could be used to arrest unauthorized immigrants with final deportation orders. That reverses previous guidance. For years, immigration advocates and legal aid groups have warned people not to open their doors to immigration agents unless they are shown a warrant signed by a judge.
The directive is likely to trigger legal challenges as the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution has been long interpreted to largely prohibit searches and seizures without judicial warrants, including in the context of immigration. 6:35.
Accumulation, preservation, generation. At Busey Bank, these are the principles we use to build meaningful financial partnerships with our clients and their families. With sound advice and vast resources, partner with Busey for a personalized approach to your legacy. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Struggling with no hot water in the mornings? A backed up clog drain flooding your space? Or a persistent dripping sink? Trust Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, Electric. Four Seasons professional, fully licensed team handles it 24/7 without added costs for after hours, weekends, or holidays. Four Seasons proudly earns over 30,000 five-star Google reviews and the Torch Award for Marketplace Ethics.
For all the right reasons, call it 664 Seasons.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Now, the lowest gas prices from News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Sponsored by PackyWebFord.com, where you'll find the best deal on your new Explorer. Get huge Packy Web Ford discounts, 2.9 financing for 66 months, plus $1,500 bonus cash. In Countryside, the Sitco on 55th and Brainerd.
Shut up. Lisa, that's from Wilson to the Kennedy Junction.
How can all your phones shut off at the same time? That's weird, ain't it? All my phones just shut off at the same time. Weird, right?
Exit ramp to North Avenue, that is blocked as well. 31 O'Hare in, 25 coming in from the Eaton's Junction, outbound at Gatebrose delay, heavy from the Jane Byrne interchange to North Avenue, central to Harlem. It's 18 to get to Montrose, 30 out to the airport. If you take the express, 3 minutes faster at the moment. Eisenhower on the outbound side, heavy from Ashland to before Harlem, a 23-minute ride to Mannheim, 41 to I-90, inbound, 46 I-90.
They cleaned all this stuff out, right?
From 25th past
they
Harlem,
kicked everybody out.
To the Jane Byrne interchange.
See that?
Now, if you're on the Stevenson, that is heavy outbound.
Somebody fly dumped there. See that there? Fly dumping.
294, 37 to 355, inbound, Pulaski to Kedzie Slope.
Let's see if anybody's living back here, right?
To DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Dan Ryan outbound 25, inbound 16, inbound heavy Canalport to the Jane Byrne interchange, outbound Jane Byrne interchange to 18th hefty. And then I gotta
upload this video real quick. I gotta stop driving because I'm driving with one hand.
So from I-80 to Vollmer, 15-minute ride to get to I-80. Bishop Ford on the outbound side slows from the Rhine to the Stony Island feeder ramp at 15 to 80-94. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, heavy northbound Navy Pier to Chicago, southbound approaching the light at Chicago. Tollways are back to normal. I-80 still stop and go westbound, US 30 to Chicago. Emergency pothole repairs taking out that right lane. Next report for the Metro Traffic Center at 648 News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
WBBM AccuWeather. We do have a little bit of snow moving through right now. They could leave a fresh coating to an inch in some spots and cause some slippery conditions. Then windy and colder later tonight with some clearing. Low 14. AccuWeather real field temperatures falling below 0. Intervals of clouds and sun tomorrow. Windy and cold, a high 25. Real fields mostly in the single digits. Brisk and brutally cold tomorrow night with some clouds. Low 12 below 0. And a high only 3 below 0 on Friday with clouds and sun. And real field temperatures tomorrow night and Friday 25 to 35 below. 27 at O'Hare right now, 28 at Midway, 27 at Warrenville, 28 at the Lakefront, going down to 14 tonight. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson.
It's 6:41. Illinois is emerging as one of the fastest rising film and television states in the country.
Illinois saw a 70% year-over-year increase in film and TV projects, according to fourth quarter 2025 data from industry tracker ProdPro. At the same time, production spending climbed 46%, placing the state among the top growth markets nationwide. With this data, Illinois also gains ground on Georgia, which had long dominated domestic production for much of the decade. In quarter 4, Georgia reported decreases in both filming volume and spend. The data signals a shift in momentum and suggests that Illinois is growing in appeal to studios. Carolina Garibay, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
A young bulldog is on the road to recovery after she was found outside of Paws Chicago in very bad shape.
Staff at Paws Chicago's Lincoln Park Adoption Center say Olive, the young bulldog, was found early in the morning on January 11th, abandoned outside a side door and wrapped in a blood-soaked towel. She was rushed to the medical center where veterinarians realized she was suffering from a suspected dog attack. Staff says the pup could barely move, fighting a severe infection in both front legs and chest. Selene Milcarrick with Paws Chicago says Olive is making great progress on the road to recovery. Her care and treatment is happening because of the public's donations.
Because of our medical center and because of the support of our community, animals like Olive get a second chance.
Glenn Marshall, News Radio 105.9. WBBM.
A House committee is voting to hold former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress for refusing a subpoena in its Jeffrey Epstein case.
Committee Chair James Comer says
the ayes have it,
and the committee adopts the report,
recommending that the House of Representatives find William J. Clinton in contempt of Congress.
Such charges have historically been used only as a last resort, and Comer initiated the proceedings after the Clintons refused a subpoena to appear for months. The Clintons say they didn't know about Epstein's abuse and offered written declarations about their interactions with him. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-955-0657. 800-955-0657. 800-955-0657.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The time to refresh your interior spaces is now. FinishingChicago.com has the industry experts in glass systems, drywalling, finishing, wall covering, and commercial painting. Whether it's a hotel lobby or a corporate workspace, first impressions matter. Now more than ever, people expect spaces that feel refreshing.
Let's keep moving, right? I mean, what are we hearing? We're hearing the constant corruption, right? I mean, what excuse is that? So the Clintons say we don't need to go and deal with your subpoena. Kind of wild, right? Yeah, aren't they the ones that said no one's above the law? Didn't the Clintons and Bidens and all of them say no one's above the law? Weird, isn't it? It's strange how these liberals, the Democrats, and that's what I keep saying about these rich people. I said earlier in the program, look at them. They're not doing what the regular person does, right? A regular person goes to court. Yesterday, I didn't want to. I was late on a ticket out of Kankakee. Remember I got that speeding ticket in Kankakee? Somehow I missed the court date. I missed everything. They sent me a $250 fine. You know what? You know what I did? I paid it. I don't agree with it, but I paid it. Today, I'm not going to say how much I paid. I paid a lot of money. I'll say this. Today I gave somebody a check that had 4 zeros in it, okay? 4 zeros today. And a number. 4 zeros and a number. Today, I told you I went to downtown for some personal business. 4 zeros and a number. Do I agree with it? Do I think it's wrong? Do I think I shouldn't do that? Yes. But guess what? I complied. A judge told me I had to pay the fine before. I just made an agreement with a judge. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with either one. 4 zeros in a number today. I just gave somebody a check today. You know, I'm going to tell you, I could buy a new phone. I can fix my car because I need a new radio in my Jeep. I need a new phone and I need some other things. But I had to do it because the judge ordered me. You gotta get what I'm trying to say here? Regular people pay their bills, even though we don't agree with it.
Yes, there were some good fortunes on the Bears' side this season. 7 other wins came thanks to fourth quarter comebacks. Caleb Williams shined the brightest in seemingly dark spots. One could argue these fortunes cannot be replicated moving forward, that the bounces won't go the Bears' way anymore. Ben Johnson doesn't see it that way. He believes this team is battle-tested for the future.
That ended up being our identity there for the most of the season and showed up in the playoffs as well. Just we handled pressure better than most. And I think that's a credit to Ryan and the type of guys that he brought in. They're wired the right way. They thrive in those circumstances, and that showed up for us in a big way.
The Bears' notable free agents heading into the offseason include Kevin Byard, Nishawn Wright, and Jaquan Brisker. 92 days until the NFL draft. Elsewhere in the NFL, there are 6 head coaching jobs still available, with 4 already filled. Among those hoping to land one of those roles is former Bears head coach Matt Nagy, a finalist for several jobs. In baseball, the White Sox dealt away Luis Robert Jr. to the New York Mets. They landed infielder Luis Angel Acuna and pitching prospect Truman Pauly as part of the deal. Elsewhere in baseball, the Yankees are giving Cody Bellinger a 5-year contract worth $162.5 million. In the NBA, the Bulls were a winner over the Clippers last night. They'll head to Minneapolis to take on the Timberwolves tomorrow. The Bulls are hopeful Josh Giddey can return for that game. He's missed the last 11 contests with a hamstring issue.
If you take that exit ramp, that local exit ramp, and you get around it there, you know what I'm talking about if you're there. Basically, that is the only thing squeezing by at a good pace right now. Northbound jammed from past 159th Street. This rollover crash in the 2 right lanes. Denise, thank you for calling our WBBM Mercedes-Benz of Hoffman Estates traffic tip line at 855-780 Road. So far, the Eden's inbound, a 17-minute ride. Heavy past Wilson to the Kennedy Junction. Outbound is clear. Kennedy outbound, heavy from the Jane Byrne interchange to North Avenue, Central to Harlem. 18 to Montrose, 28 to the airport. 3 minutes faster if you take the express instead. That's a 15-minute trip.
They chase these guys over here. See that? So instead of giving these guys a place to stay, they give them tents, and then he blocks the sidewalk, creating what? A conflict with people, right?
Eisenhower outbound.
Now he's even got a motorcycle there. You see that there? He's got electric, right?
Downtown. Heavy from 25th past Harlem Racine to the Jane Byrne interchange.
See that?
Stevenson outbound.
Somebody had a fire there. See the fire?
294, 37,355.
See the fire right there? So they had a fire there. That guy's got electric, right? Instead of getting him a house, he's standing out there, right?
I-57 looks pretty good.
And there's $1 million homes around there, right?
From I-80 to Balmer. Bishop Ford outbound, slow from the Rhine to the Stony Island feeder ramp at 15, and DuSable Lakeshore Drive northbound. Heavy Navy Pier to Chicago, southbound heavy approaching the light at Chicago. Next report from the Metro Traffic Center at 6:58. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
WBBM AccuWeather. We do have a little bit of snow moving through right now. They could leave a fresh coating to an inch in some spots and cause some slippery conditions. Then windy and colder later tonight with some clearing. Low 14. AccuWeather real field temperatures falling below 0. Intervals of clouds and sun tomorrow. Windy and cold, a high of 25. Real feels mostly in the single digits. Brisk and brutally cold tomorrow night with some clouds, low 12 below 0, and a high only 3 below 0 on Friday with clouds and sun, and real field temperatures tomorrow night and Friday 25 to 35 below. 27 at O'Hare right now, 28 at Midway, 27 at Warrenville, 28 at the Lakefront, going down to 14 tonight. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Chicago's only station dedicated to news around the clock. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Well, what is old is new again, as live jazz is getting new attention from a whole new generation. Paul Mariano has been a jazz musician in Chicago for 20 years. His new album celebrates the music of legendary jazz musician Duke Ellington. And he happily admits that jazz is experiencing a bit of a renaissance thanks to a new generation of musicians and fans.
You know, the headline is 40 years of jazz is dying, and yet it keeps finding younger audiences.
He says there's something about live music that Gen Z in particular didn't grow up with. Now, thanks to the new artists and fans, they're rediscovering the genre. Mariano debuts his new album, Mood Ellington, at Studio 5 with 2 shows on Saturday and Sunday. Colorado is settling a lawsuit over its ban on abortion pill reversals.
Colorado passed its law in 2023, but 2 religious rights organizations sued to block it, and a federal judge ruled the ban unconstitutionally infringed upon religious liberty. The state is paying $6.1 million to settle the suit. Abortion pill reversal is the idea that the first pill taken during a 2-pill abortion procedure can be counteracted if the patient takes high doses of the natural pregnancy hormone progesterone. Most major medical organizations don't support the practice. They say the science is spotty. Michael Wallace, CBS.
An iconic hot dog brand has been sold.
Nathan's Famous, which opened as a 5-cent hot dog stand in Coney Island more than a century ago, has been sold to packaged meat giant Smithfield Foods in a $450 million all-cash deal. Like almost every food company, Nathan's has been under significant inflationary pressure. Nathan's sales cost of branded products rose 27%. There was a 20% increase in the average cost per pound of hot dogs.
3, 2, 1.
Nathan's is known for its famous hot dog eating contest, where contestants from around the world gather every 4th of July to see who can down the most hot dogs in 10 minutes. American Joey Chestnut is the reigning hot dog eating champion after eating 70.5 hot dogs and buns last year. He's won 17 of the last 19 events, setting a record in 2021 after wolfing down 76 hot dogs and buns. Smithfield said the event, which has been televised on ESPN with the crowd estimated at 30,000 each year, will continue.
While the first recorded hot dog eating contest was held in 1972, Nathan says informal contests began the year the stand opened early in the 20th century. 6:52.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Ethos.
A simple move for stronger bones, especially for those over 60, heel drops. Duke University doctors say heel drops mitigate bone loss without the risks that come with high-impact exercises. Stand near a wall or chair for support. Feet hip-width apart. Rise onto the balls of your feet, then let your heels drop back down. Do 5 to 10 reps per day, work up to 50. If you have back issues, check with your doctor first. I'm Margie Schaefer.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online application required.
Elizabeth Holmes, disgraced founder of the blood testing startup Theranos, has formally asked President Trump to release her from prison with nearly 6 years left to serve on an 11-year fraud conviction sentence. If Trump commutes her, she would still have to pay her defrauded investors $452 million in restitution. President Trump today backpedaling on threats to take Greenland by force, sent to hit European allies who oppose his plans with punishing new tariffs. And after claiming the U.S. late today reached a, quote, framework of a future deal on critical minerals in Greenland without detailing any specifics, Wall Street rose sharply higher. After a volatile up and down trading session, all the major averages nearly 1.25% higher at the close.
What's that guy doing in the middle of the west side with Michigan plates? What's that man doing here? That ain't a new car. He's doing Ubering. He's Ubering, making money in our city. I keep telling you guys that. He's Ubering, not paying the fees of our roads, stealing our money. He's just like those guys. They're all the same. Those leeches in Wicker Park, he's a leech. He's a criminal leech. I don't care what you say, Uber drivers and DoorDash. You should pay your license fees. You should pay a taxi fee. You should pay a medallion fee. You should pay all of that. He's a leech. That guy's a leech. Right there. Right in front of you. He steals from our city. That's why we're broke. And then the leech that runs our city lets the city workers steal from us. That's what you got there. Leeches are leeches. They all hang together, right? while everybody else works. Got it?
Paying as little in tax as you can. These are all...
There you go. We're going to be signing off, so maybe we'll do the 7 o'clock news. I don't know. Let's see. What time is it? 6:55. I don't know. We might listen to some radio calls, see if there's anything going on. I got my movie night tonight. That's what I do. So I keep my promises. I'm doing what I'm doing, right? That's where I'm heading. I'm heading to my place. We're going to pass by Ducks. There was just a murder down here at Ducks, my favorite. It's my favorite car wash over here on Western. Ducks. There was just a murder there. A young guy was just murdered there. Gangbanger or something. I don't know. I don't care if he's a gangbanger. He shouldn't be murdered in public. Then there was another guy shot on Harrison in Independence. Then the young 17-year-old was shot over the weekend. We got all kinds of young people dying in our city. All young people. All minorities, all young people. There's a few white people that get murdered. That lady that got killed in the South Loop. I don't know why they didn't write, man, those are big snowflakes. Look at those snowflakes. That's big, huh? And they let that guy go to Michigan, and then finally they extracted him, or they, what do you call it, extradition him, right? But, you know, I don't know. I don't know why we got these problems, and why do we deal with criminals? Why aren't we locking them up? What do the Democrats actually get out of these criminals? They cause more harm than create. But it's like the leeches. They extract the wealth. So these Democrat liberals, they're wealth extractors. They want to steal I've already talked about it. They want to steal all the land from the city, because Chicago was built by what? The stockyards. It was built by the steel mills. It was built by factories. It was built by Wrigley Jr.'s company. Lots of industries were innovative in Chicago. Innovative. The manufacturing process, Ford developed their assembly line. The industrial process of collecting raw materials, assembling it, manufacturing, whatever you want to call it, cutting up the meats, packaging them, and shipping them out to the rest of the country and the world, that was developed here. That was developed where I live at the CMD, the Central Manufacturing District. Kinsey Manufacturing District, where we were just in that alley there, where that guy was homeless. That was a major corridor. Then there was a corridor more west of here by the Costner, right? And there's more stuff down here on Ogden. There used to be a flyover here on Ogden. Up years ago when I was a kid, right there was a road that went up there. That was so the trucks didn't have to, the cars didn't have to intermingle with the trucks. There's a flyover over Ogden. The whole Ogden, from Cicero all the way to downtown. They developed the systems to not only process raw materials, manufacture goods, package goods, and then transport those goods. Montgomery Wards, Sears, Spiegel, all of those ideas came out of Chicago. Now these people you just seen with $2 million homes, they want to extract that wealth. That wealth is being extracted out of Chicago. Got that? It's gentrification of the whole city.
More than $26 million in questionable overtime for hundreds of city workers, and you paid for it. I'm political editor Jeff Buckles at City Hall with a new report from Chicago's top watchdog.
New rules starting next month for the SNAP program could mean people all across Illinois will lose their help to get food. Plus, after meeting with the head of NATO, President Trump says they formed the framework of a future deal with Greenland. The latest on that coming up from CBS News. Markets bounce back. The Dow up nearly 600. We've got some light snow in Aurora right now. We also have cloudy skies in Wheeling, 27 degrees at 7 o'clock.
There you go. It's snowing, 7 o'clock. It's outside Chicago, going on western. It's coming down.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. After
There you go.
meeting
See
with the
that
head
there?
of NATO, President Trump says he has formed
7
the framework
p.m.
of the
January
future Arctic
21st,
deal. The president's
2026.
disclosure
It's
comes
snowing in
a couple of hours
Chicago.
after he spoke about meeting Greenland at the Davos Economic
go.
Conference in
Be safe,
Switzerland.
be careful.
He
It's
has
gonna
also
get
backed
cold.
off his threat of European tariffs, but CBS's Ed O'Keefe in Davos reports
Several top European leaders still expressing skepticism that the president's really going to back off those new tariffs. One German official quoted as saying, "We cannot sit back, relax, and be satisfied." So they're talking talking about using what they call a bazooka tariff, up to $100 billion in new tariffs against goods and services sold into the United States. All of that would mean higher prices for American customers.
Federal immigration enforcement is expanding to Maine. CBS's Camilo Montoya Galvez has details.
I am told by a U.S. official that many of the people that ICE intends to target are Somali immigrants. That population has been a frequent target of the president, who often describes members of that community in derogatory terms. That community is also being targeted to some extent in Minnesota. They have been implicated in those fraud allegations that have been cited by the president to justify this crackdown.
The Supreme Court has heard arguments over the attempted firing of Fed Governor Lisa Cook by President Trump. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum.
Even the more conservative justices on the court were skeptical that a president could fire a governor on the Federal Reserve Board.
There you go. It's snowing down here. It's about 7 o'clock. It's outside of Chicago. January 21st, 2026. It's coming down.
Without any administrative hearing or even a visit to the White House where the facts against her would be presented.
Preparations are underway from Texas over to the Carolinas and up to the Northeast as a snow and ice storm is expected this weekend in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Getting wood. I want to keep my house warm. In slush, trying to get a rick of firewood loaded. So it's best to be prepared now so that when the weather hits, you don't have to come do it when it's so cold.
In a bipartisan vote, the House Oversight Committee approves 2 resolutions to hold former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress. CBS's Nicole Killian on Capitol Hill.
Chair Comer believes they have information that is pertinent. Furthermore, he argued that while, yes, some other individuals, former attorney generals, had had the opportunity to provide sworn written statements, he said that was in part because they didn't really have any information relevant to the case.
A judge has thrown out the boundaries of New York City's only Republican congressional district seat covering the southern Brooklyn and Staten Island areas and ordering a redrawing due to unconstitutional vote dilution of Black and Hispanic residents. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to CBS Mornings on the go on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
So it's snowing. We'll listen to the corruption report and we'll shut it down, all right? Take it easy, Marietta.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station, News Radio 105.9 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
It's 7:03 on Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. Good evening to you. I'm Roger Plummer. It's 26 degrees in Chicago under cloudy skies. Tonight, a bit of snow can bring a fresh coating to an inch in places. Watch for slippery spots, windy and turning colder later tonight with some clearing skies, a low of 14. AccuWeather real field temperatures falling below 0. Tomorrow, sunshine and some clouds, windy and cold, a high of 25. Real feels mainly in the single digits. We'll check out the AccuWeather frigid 5-day forecast at 7:15. But first, our top local story on News Radio WBBM. Chicago's top government watchdog says more than 1,000 city workers may have improperly received more than $26 million in overtime pay. The story from WBBM political editor Jeff Buckholz.
Inspector General Deborah Witzberg says the employees in her office's new report work across 24 city departments, in addition to the Board of Elections, the clerk, and city council.
Those city employees are not eligible to earn overtime pay.
Witzberg also says that out of the $26 million plus in overtime payments her office reviewed between 2020 and 2024, nearly a quarter of them went to 18 workers who each received as much as $700,000 in potentially improper payments.
We can ill afford mistakes that run into the 8 figures.
Mayor Johnson says it's critical that the city change those practices.
The Department of Finance is aware of this issue and is already taking corrective action.
We're at City Hall. Jeff Buckholz, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
New rules starting next month for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program could mean people across Illinois will lose help getting food. The new requirements starting February 1st mean people between the ages of 18 and 64 will have to work or volunteer 80 hours a month to receive benefits. Kate Mayer, CEO of the Greater Chicago Food Depository, explains how big the impact will be after 3 months of the new work requirements.
200,000 to 300,000 people on May 1 in the state of Illinois, likely half of whom will be in Cook County, who will lose SNAP benefits. We are bracing ourselves for the impact in the emergency food system.
Mayor says the state has already secured SNAP work exemptions for about 100,000 people. Chicago aldermen have given final approval to a measure restricting sales of some products that contain intoxicating hemp. That means the convenience store on your block may soon have to unplug its Delta 8 sign because the proposal restricts sales to licensed cannabis dispensaries only. Additionally, anyone under the age of 21 is barred from buying hemp products. The proposed ordinance now heads to Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson's desk, but he hasn't indicated whether he would sign the measure. Brutally cold temperatures are on the way, and there are a few things people can do to lessen energy bill sticker shock.
Ahead of the cold snap, Kara Schweer with ComEd says there are some things you can do to lower energy costs. Sealing air leaks, she says, can save up to 15% on heating and cooling costs. Weather strip windows and doors and seal any cracks in walls or ceilings. Keep air vents clear of obstructions. Change furnace air filters. Dirty filters make systems work harder.
When the sun is shining, we recommend opening shades on south-facing windows, and that allows you to take advantage of natural light for warmth. But just remember to close the shades during the night to help insulate your home.
The most obvious thing you can do is turn down the thermostat. Keep it comfortable, Schwer says. Just lower, especially when you're sleeping or away. You may also want to open cabinet doors under sinks if they're on outside walls. That can keep pipes from freezing. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
A 44-year-old man from Palatine has been sentenced to 27 years in prison after he shot and killed his girlfriend more than a year ago. Sergio Velasquez Fuentes pleaded guilty to first-degree murder charges during a hearing this week and was sentenced immediately afterwards. Back on November 29, 2024, Palatine police found 42-year-old Fatima Escalante Matamaros with a single gunshot wound to the head. Following the sentencing, Palatine Police Department said in part that it remains committed to supporting victims of violence and holding perpetrators responsible. It's 7:08.
I think that guy was a migrant. That was a migrant, Drew. Look up that case. Let's look up that guy. I think that dude was a migrant. Those ones with the 4 names, those are usually migrants. They use 4 or 5 names. They switch names when they cross the border. Everybody knows that trick. Those 4 names. Anybody uses multiple names is a scam artist, is a con artist, rip off. That's it. You use 2 names and hyphenated names, you're a con artist. I'm going to tell you that. You're either Carson or Wilson. You're not Carson Wilson. Because you know why? You know what people do? Betty Carson Wilson will then say, I'm Betty Wilson. And then they'll say, well, I'm Rosa Carson. They do that. I found that. That's how Barbara Bird Bennett was scamming people. She used 4 hyphenated names. 4. And she signed contracts with all different names. Barbara Bird Bennett. So did her henchmen from the ones that were in D.C. That's what these migrants do. They were taught that. Wow, there's a whole bunch of ambulances coming. If you look at what those migrants do, they use multiple names. That's so they can get around identities and all of that stuff. Well, why don't you check that out for me, Drew? I'm almost sure that case out of Palatine, I was a migrant. It might not be. I might be misspeaking. And, you know, if I am, I am. But most, and don't take this wrong if you're Hispanic, most Hispanics who use multiple hyphenated names are migrants. And if you're not, and you do that, then you're a scam artist. I don't care. I get to say what I want. So there you go. That's our broadcast. 7:10 p.m. January 21st, 2026. The city of Chicago, ran by the Mayor Leach, has a $26 million one case of leeches. Plus there's the leeches from last week that was about $20 million. Working with the leeches in Wicker Park. Right? I think I named this. I don't know what I named this. I put it in the talking. When I transcribe it, I'll figure out what I'm going to call this. It might be the Leech Show tonight, man. Leeches gone wild. How about that? Take it easy, everybody. I love everybody. It is now 7:10 p.m. January 21st, 2026. SubX.News is signing off. I appreciate everybody. Yes, it's more than that. It's more Ms. Zidor, it's more than what you heard today. Last week, there was $20 million from something else that the city workers didn't pay. Their fees. And you know, Brandon Johnson said he was going to pass a law that city workers are exempt from paying. I don't know if you know that. He did. During the budget talks. Yeah. There you go. Take it easy. SubX News signing off. Bye. I love everybody.